Sacramento Rivercats baseball on Talk 650 KSTE. The Sacramento Rivercats, 2003 Pacific Coast League champion and AAA affiliate of the Oakland A's. It's now time for the Heineken On Deck Show. Heineken, it's all about the beer. Here now is the voice of the Rivercats, Johnny Dosco.
Hi, everybody. We're at Raley Field in West Sacramento. Rivercats baseball is on the air tonight. It is game 2 of a 4-game set. The Rivercats taking on the Salt Lake Stingers, the Anaheim Angel AAA affiliate here in the Pacific Coast League. It was all Salt Lake in the game yesterday, as Salt Lake defeating the Rivercats handily by a final score of 11-2. Jason Middlebrook worked 5 innings for the victory. The Salt Lake Stingers continue to get solid work from their bullpen, as Scott Dunn worked 2 strong innings, Turnbow 2 shutout innings. The Salt Lake Stinger bullpen has thrown 21 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings. The bullpen has been mighty tough, and the starting pitching hasn't been so bad itself. And John Reinecker worked 6 innings and had trouble with guys like Adam Riggs and Alex Pelaez. The Salt Lake Stingers ended up getting a single, double, 2 home runs from Adam Riggs. Also had a walk in there, but in the end, Reinecker 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. So his line wasn't bad, but again, it was all Salt Lake as far as the offense was concerned. And Eric Kamak ended up allowing 5 runs in 1 inning. Matt O'Brien, 2 innings, he allowed 2 runs and 3 hits. Matt O'Brien given his release yesterday, and the Rivercats activating Mario Ramos. So the Rivercats will take on Salt Lake. Salt Lake has won 6 straight. They are 11-2 right now. The Rivercats are 5-8. Sacramento finds themselves 3.5 games behind the Tucson Sidewinders, as Tucson lost their baseball game last night to Portland by a final score of 8-0. As far as Salt Lake's concerned, they have a 3-game lead over Edmonton, a 3.5 game edge over Tacoma, and Portland is 6 games back in the North Division. We'll come back with our Painting the Corners pitching matchups after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Borders, language, and culture.
He's not new to big-time talk radio.
When they say to me, what do you really believe in with the Poor Revere Society in your show?
But he's taking over the nation.
Borders, language, and culture. They say, what does that mean?
The voice you can't ignore.
The Savage Nation.
And I tell them, close the borders.
Get rid of the illegal alien.
Make English the official language.
There's no assimilation here.
And recognize that the commonalities of our culture are what holds us together.
Michael Sav, The Savage Nation. Afternoons at 4 on Talk 650 KSTE.
All right, time for our Painting the Corners pitching matchups presented by Frazee Paint and Wall Covering, the official paint company of the Sacramento Rivercats. It'll be Chris Butchek for the Salt Lake Stingers. Butchek, former first-round pick of the Angels. 1-1. His ERA is exactly 7. He has made 2 starts. So far, worked 9 innings, allowed 15 hits, 7 runs all earned. He's issued 3 walks and struck out 8. He'll go against Alabama and Steve Woodard. Woodard 2-0, an ERA of 3.09, making his 3rd start. Steve has worked 11 2/3 innings, allowed 12 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. He's issued 6 walks and struck out 5. But Woodard winning his last start against the Edmonton Trappers on the 16th of April. He went 6 2/3 innings, allowed 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 3 walks, and 3 strikes. As a matter of fact, that was the Rivercats' home opener, and Woodard was thrilled. 14,334 on hand. Of course, he has pitched an opening day in the big leagues as well. He did for Cleveland. Wasn't rattled at all, actually excited to pitch in front of the big crowd. The Rivercats splitting against Edmonton at home and losing the first game of the 4-game set yesterday to Salt Lake. Rivercats trying to snap that Salt Lake Stinger 6-game winning streak. A very, very tough Salt Lake ball club. They have the best record in the PCL. We'll come back. When we do come back, we'll have the starting lineup for the first pitch after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
You've been listening to the Heineken On Deck Show. Heineken, it's all about the beer. Stay tuned. Starting lineups and the first pitch is next. Talk 650.
I really love being controlled by others.
Michael Savage.
It's one of the things I really specialize in.
Is having people with lower IQs than I telling me what to do, especially when I go to the bathroom.
Follows Dr. Lloyd.
I have like a criminal's personality in many ways. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a bad person. I don't like to be told what to do. I have a very rebellious streak since birth.
Seth, get it.
Doctor I'd like to kill who pulled me out, yanked me by the head. And ever since then,
Weekdays 4 to 7.
I've been fighting with the world.
On Talk 650, KSDE. This is Sacramento Rivercats baseball on Talk 650 KSDE. The Sacramento Rivercats, 2003 Pacific Coast League champions and AAA affiliate of the Oakland A's. Rivercat baseball is brought to you by Rayleigh's and Bel Air, the market's famous for fine meats and produce. Miller Genuine Draft, genuine flavor, cold filtered smooth. Miller. Good call. SBC. Going beyond the call. The Golden One. California's leading credit union. Chevron. No gasoline cleans your engine better than Chevron with Techron. And by Sacramento Coca-Cola. Proud to be a founding corporate partner of the Sacramento Rivercats. Here now is the voice of the Rivercats, Johnny Dosco.
It's a gorgeous night for baseball. Rivercats baseball is on the air. The Rivercats take on the Anaheim Angel affiliate here in the PCL. The Salt Lake Stingers, a very competent team. The best record in the Pacific Coast League with an 11-2 mark. And the Rivercats trying to snap that 16 winning streak. Rivercats have won 5 of their first 13 games, have not won back-to-back games all year. So trying to buck that trend by winning tonight and winning tomorrow night. So Rivercats one at a time, of course, but they like their chances with the Alabama and Steve Woodard. Give you the starting lineup for Salt Lake first. Adam Riggs will lead things off. He is in left field. It'll be Alfredo Amazing at about second. He's the shortstop. Rob Quinlan is batting third, and he's at first base. Alex Pelaez, he'll bat cleanup, and he's the third baseman. It'll be Gary Johnson in that 5 slot. He's the designated hitter. Will Nieves will bat sixth and do the catching. It'll be Brian Gordon to bat seventh, and he is playing right field. Jake Thrower is the center fielder, and he is batting eighth. And Brian Specht is the second baseman, and he is batting ninth. For the Rivercats, the Pacific Coast League AAA affiliate of the Oakland Athletics, it'll be Steve Stanley to lead things off. He's in center field. Ramon Castro is batting second. He's the shortstop. Mike Edwards will bat third base. Or will play third base, I should say, and bat third. It'll be Graham Koontz in the cleanup spot. Graham, the designated hitter tonight. Dan Johnson will bat fifth and play first base. It'll be Nick Swisher in that 6th slot playing right field. Tom Wilson doing the catching and batting seventh. Matt Watson will bat eighth and play left field. And Francis Gomez is the second baseman batting ninth. All against the right-hander, Chris Buchek. So Buchek against Steve Woodard. That is our Painting the Corners pitching matchups presented by Frazee Paint and Wall Covering. When it's time to paint, visit the Frazee location nearest you. So tonight is 7:05 start. Tomorrow night is 7:05 start. And then Friday night will also be a 7:05 start. And the Rivercats travel to Las Vegas, Nevada, take on the Las Vegas 51s, a team that actually is tied for second place with the Rivercats. Las Vegas 5-8. As they have lost a couple in a row. Las Vegas losing last night to Tacoma by a final score of 4-1. So the Rivercats, they're right in the hunt. 3.5 back, and of course 13 games. You still have 131 to go, but the Rivercats trying to get on a roll here. They've been unable to string wins together, unable to string hits together. It's been a rough going offensively for the Rivercats of late. They did have the come from behind win against Edmonton on the 19th, where they had 3 2-out hits. And capped off by that 2-run homer with 2 outs from Tom Wilson in the 8th inning, but unable to get that second win in a row as they lost last night 11-2. So here's Adam Riggs to lead things off. Riggs hitting .348 with 3 homers and 5 driven in, and Woodard's first pitch, a fastball in there for a strike. We're underway. Counts 0-1. Yeah, Riggs, a single double, 2 home runs, and a walk. He scored 5 times in the game yesterday. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's taken low and away. It's 1-1. Well, maybe this is the guy that gets the Rivercats rolling again. Steve Woodard. Think about Steve. He throws strikes. He works quickly. Gets his infielders involved. The 1-1 pitch, that swung on and chopped foul outside third toward the Rivercat dugout, and it's 1-2. Brian Knight, the home plate umpire. Frank Coughlin at first. Joe Judkovich at third. Absolute gorgeous night for baseball here. Adam Riggs, former Dodger prospect at the plate, a pretty good hitter. Woodard looks in to get a sign from Wilson. And the 1-2 pitch. That's taken low. Ball 2, 2-2. Set the defensive alignment for the River Cats. Brought to you by Noble Way Pest Control. Don't let bugs and rodents drive you away. Call the Knights of the Noble Way at 916-344-5220. It's Dan Johnson at first base. Francis Gomez at second. The shortstop is Ramon Castro, and Mike Edwards is at third. 2-2 pitch. That misses outside. 3-2. With Matt Watson in left field, Steve Stanley in center, and Nick Swisher in right. From the catching is Tom Wilson. On the hill, the right-hander Steve Woodard. There's a 3-2 pitch. That's chopped toward the third baseman. Edwards makes, they call it a foul ball. Wow. So the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. It appeared that Edwards maybe able to field it in foul territory, but it went over the third base bag in fair territory. The count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes on Adam Riggs. Game number 14 on the season. Yeah, the big club, the Angels, as the 3-2 pitch from Woodard. That's a busted bat bouncer on 2 hops. This one a foul ball, same exact spot. I think Adam Riggs left him to bat. Count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The big club not exactly tearing it up right now. Riggs checks the bat, seeing if he needs a new one, and he's satisfied. He's going to stick with the same lumber. Lackey has been struggling up there, as has Ramon Ortiz. Right-hander out of a windup in the 3-2 pitch. That's swung. That's a busted bat fly ball to left field. Watson up with it, and he will make the catch, and there's one away. So Riggs, with the busted bat, gets a fly ball to the left fielder. One down. Here's the shortstop, Alfredo Amezaga. There's Amezaga. Alfredo hitting $192, no homers and 2 driven in. Switch hitter will bat from the left side. Center fielder Stanley shaded towards left center. Amezaga takes outside. It's 1-0. Exciting shortstop. The ball game yesterday, Amezaga was 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. That pitch taken at the knees for a strike, and it's 1-1. Remember, for every River Cats win in April, they've won 5 games already. There's a 1-1 pitch from Woodard. That's bounced on the ground on 3 hops to the second baseman Gomez. He makes the play, flips to first in time, and there are 2 away. That'll bring up the first baseman Rob Quinlan. Yeah, for every River Cats win this April, Chevron is donating $500 to the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. With the 5 wins so far this month, Chevron has donated $2,500. Chevron, no gasoline cleans your engine better than Chevron with Techron. Here's Quinlan. Quinlan, the first baseman, hitting .327, a homer and 10 driven in. Woodard out of a windup. And the right-hander pitch. Fastball. That's bang past the diving Edwards and into left field for a base hit. Watson will get it in. So a 2-out single for Rob Quinlan. And that will bring up the third baseman, Alex Pelaez.
Third baseman, number 26, Alex Pelaez.
There's Pelaez hitting .400 now. No homers and 10 driven in. He had a RBI single in the 3rd inning of the ball game yesterday, and RBI single in the 8th inning as well. He had a double in the 1st inning. He's been a hot hitter. Pelaez 20 for his first 50. Quinlan takes his lead, being held on by Johnson as the pitch taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Rob Deere, hitting coach for Portland, just raving about Alex Pelaez. As Woodard up to first. Keep an eye on Rob Quinlan. Just love this guy's approach at the plate. So no matter where this guy goes, he will hit. Goes to the big leagues, he stays in AAA. He will hit wherever he plays. Quinlan takes his lead on the 0-1 pitch. That's swung on and lifted to center field playable. Drifting back Stanley. He's under it now, and he makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. We're through half an inning. Salt Lake nothing, and the River Cats coming up at the bottom of the first after this on Talk 650 KST.
Talk 650.
Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE. Welcome to the program.
Therapy's expensive.
My husband and I have some friends. We've had them for about 6 years.
Dr. Laura?
My question is regarding, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing for our 20-year-old.
Free.
What's on your mind?
Well, I've got a problem with my neighbor.
Dr. Laura.
4 years ago, the wife divorced the husband.
But how do I say it without...
Find your own words, sir.
Afternoons.
My question is...
Right before Savage.
You're here to teach him.
On Talk 650.
You're his dad.
KSTE. Sacramento's talk station. You're listening to Sacramento Rivercats Baseball on Talk 650 KSTE. Rivercats Baseball is brought to you by Subway Sandwiches. Subway. Eat fresh. Tickets.com. The better way to get you to the action. And by Sutter Health. Community-based, not-for-profit.
All right, we go to the bottom of the first. It'll be Stanley, followed by Castro and Edwards to face the right-hander Chris Buchek, 6'5", 200-pounder. Buchek 1-1 in the area of 7, making his third start, 9 innings, 15 hits, 7 earned runs. He's issued 3 walks and he struck out 8. So Chris Buchek, who the Rivercats missed when they played the 4-game series in Salt Lake. And here's Steve Stanley, left-handed hitter. Is Buchek's first pitch, fastball on the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. 0-1 on Stanley. Who sent the Salt Lake Stingers for you defensively. Rob Quinlan is at first base. Brian Specht is the second baseman. And as Buchek, the leg kick and the 0-1 pitch. Here's a bunt behind the catcher Nieves. Goes towards the screen. It's 0-2. With Alfredo Amezga at short and Alex Pallai is at third base. Adam Riggs in left field and center field Jake Thrower. In right field is Brian Gordon. And with the catching is Juan Nieves. And on hill the right-hander Chris Buchek. B-O-O-T-C-H-E-C-K. He's out of Auburn University. Stanley at the plate, the 0-2 pitch. That swung on and stroked into center field for a base hit. So an 0-2 mistake by Buchek. And Steve Stanley with a sharp single to center. That'll bring up the shortstop, Ramon Castro.
Your shortstop, number 12, Ramon Castro.
So the A's are in Seattle tonight. Esteban Herman with a start at second base for the A's. Adam Melhuse starting behind the plate. And Eric Burns getting a start in left field for Oakland. And that's Hudson against Mesh in that one. Good pitching matchup there. The right-hander's pitch. That misses outside to Castro. It's 1-0. Ramon hitting .216. No homers and 2 driven in. We're in the bottom of the first, no score. I mean, it was an ugly game all the way around yesterday. No reason to say it anywhere else. I mean, 3 errors for the Rivercats, but they made some mental mistakes. As Buchek over to first, keep an eye on Stanley. Steve Stanley on the season with 4 stolen bases in 4 attempts. It was a struggle. I mean, the whole game. Rivercats, closest they got was 3-2. The bright spot, the Coots 2-run homer in the 5th inning. It was all Salt Lake after that. Here's a 1-0 pitch. The runner goes on a bouncer back to Buchek. He has only one play. That's the first where he throws in time. And there is one away. So just as good as a sacrifice as Stanley takes second. One away. Now looking up the third baseman, Mike Edwards. Well, Paragary's Bar and Oven Centro, Cocina Mexicana in the Blue Q. 3 great restaurants in Midtown to visit before or after a great Rivercats game. So here's Edwards. Mike Edwards hitting .255 on the year with no homers and 3 driven in. A right-handed hitter. Center fielder thrower playing pretty deep and shaded a little bit towards right center as Buchek checks second. And the pitch. That's taken for a strike. 0-1. Thrower showing his versatility. I mean, we saw him as a second baseman for Portland. We've also seen him play in the outfield before. He's in center field for Salt Lake tonight. Left fielder Riggs also playing pretty deep on. Mike Edwards as the right-hander checks second. And the 0-1 pitch. That's taken outside, and it's 1-1. Yeah, the A's have scored in the top half of the first inning of that game against Seattle. And Seattle is batting in the bottom of the first. Now A's looking for their 9th victory. Lost a couple of tough 2-1 games. Right-hander with the belt. Buchek's 1-1 pitch. That's taken low. He checked his swing. Oh, he didn't go, I guess. And it's 1-2. But not even worth an appeal. The home plate umpire Brian Knight said he went. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tony DeFrancesco coaching at third base. Britt Reams getting closer and closer to getting back in there in the bullpen for the Rivercats. So 1-2 pitch. That hits it. Mike Edwards hit again. Are you kidding me? Edwards, that's the 4th time he has been hit already this year. He's just unlucky. So Edwards hit with a pitch, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Graham Coons. And that's, you know, I think he got hit above the elbow that time, kind of near the shoulder area. I mean, he has been hit almost in the identical spot all 4 times. He's just been unlucky of late as far as the hit batsmen are concerned. Here's Kuntz. Graham is 1 for 3. Taken out of the ball game yesterday after his home run for precautionary measures is the pitch to Kuntz. Fastball on the outside edge for a strike. It's 0-1. Kuntz elated to be back in the lineup. It's a long 12 games for him being out. 0-1 the count. 2 on, 1 out. No score in the ball game as Buchek comes set. Chris checks second. Now the 0-1 pitch. That's in the dirt. Nice stop by Nieves. And it's 1-1. And the A's trying to get some offense going. And as you know, you can give Hudson 3 runs, you're in pretty good shape. 2 runs even. 1-1 the count. As Buchek checks second, and the 1-1 pitch. That misses inside. Ball 2, 2-1. Yeah, tomorrow is the 7th game of this 8-game homestand. As Buchek at the belt. Now the 2-1 pitch. That's a fastball. Looked like a pretty good pitch. I guess it just missed. Ball 3, 3-1. Rivercats after 13 games last year were 8-5. And tomorrow it'll be Delvin James against Mike Ziegler, 2 right-handers. Friday night, Steve Green against Mike Wood. The 3-1 pitch off speed. Well, actually does 88 on the radar gun as Kuntz fouls one down the left field line, slicing out a play, and it's 3-2. So see if Tony DeFrancesco just trying to mix things up and roll the dice a little bit early. See if he sends the runners. You have good speed with Stanley, decent speed with Edwards. So see if you have the open window, though. You have a left-hand hitter at the plate in Kuntz. Now, if he does strike out, depending on the jump that Stanley gets, it might be a strike him out throw. Now we'll see how Tony plays it. Right-hander comes set, and the runners do not go. The 3-2 pitch that's bounced down to the second baseman might be too. Speck to Amaziga on the Quinlan double play. So they get the 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. No runs a hit batsman and 1 left. We're through an inning. It's Salt Lake nothing and the Rivercats nothing. We'll have the top of the second after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk to us about the things that matter to you most.
I just have a question about what do you do in a case like that?
What is that that's inside that man that knows that?
Whatever's on your mind, no matter who the host.
And he gave this sickening smirk.
Yeah.
Got a question or a gripe or giving someone props.
This is the greatest thing I've seen. I look at life differently.
Doesn't matter because the conversation never stops.
You know, have a reason to put a gun on him.
Talk to us.
Armstrong and Getty.
I think they're still handling it with tip gloves and kind of brushing underneath the carpet.
Michael Savage.
Michael, what really happened on September 11th?
Talk to us.
And even Dr. Laura.
And it made me so sick, and I just thought, you know, what a jerk. You know?
I don't understand. Is he blind?
I guess my concern is that.
Talk to us. Hit the buttons, dial the numbers, come on, don't be shy. Might be the only chance you get, so don't let it slip.
You do the talking on the talk station. Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk to us.
To Sacramento River Cats baseball on Talk 650 KSTE.
Second, no score in the ball game, no runs, one hit, and no errors for both clubs. It'll be Gary Johnson, Will Nieves, and Brian Gordon to face the right-hander Steve Woodard. Well, Texas leads Anaheim 1-0. That's R.A. Dickey against John Lackey. The Yankees leading the White Sox 3-1. That game is in the 8th inning. A-Rod has hit his second home run as a Yankee. Jorge Posada has hit his 7th. Carlos Lee has hit his 3rd for the White Sox. Posada with 7 home runs already. Vasquez still pitching in that one for the Yankees. Boston 4, Toronto 2. That's a final. As the pitch off speed, chased and missed. It's 0-1 on Gary Johnson, a left-handed hitter. Johnson hitting .273, a homer and 4 driven in. That was Wakefield over Lilly. Lilly now 0-2. Falk with his 5th save. Doug Mirabelli hit 2 home runs, numbers 2 and 3 for Boston. There's the 0-1 pitch. That misses outside. It's 1-1. So 1-1 the count on Gary Johnson. Gary, big left-handed hitter, listed at 6'3", 210 pounds. Another changeup, chased and missed. 1-2. Steve Woodard, all sorts of experience at the big league level. Woodard spent the entire 98 season with the Brewers, the entire 99 season with Milwaukee. Spent the entire 2000 season in the big leagues between Milwaukee and Cleveland. The pitch is swung on and bounced on 2 offs to the first baseman Johnson. He gloves it, takes it to the first base bag himself, and there is 1 away. So Gary Johnson bounces out to Dan Johnson. 1 down. Here's Will Nieves, the catcher. Here's Nieves. Will hitting .323 with a couple of home runs and 4 driven in. Lifetime in the major league, Steve Woodard 32 and 36, an ERA under 5. At 4.94, 149 walks, 464 strikeouts. Pitched with Texas 2 years ago. He had 14 appearances with the Rangers. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a strike on the inside edge. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That was just high. Ball 1-1. Nieves and Gregorio pretty much splitting the time behind the plate, as Wilson and Rose have. Center fielder Stanley shaded a little bit towards right center. There's a 1-1 pitch. Off speed, chased and missed. It's 1-2. So Woodard has retired 4 of the first 5 Salt Lake Stingers he has faced. Now he's 1-2 on Nieves. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That's chased and missed. Down he goes. So he strikes out Nieves. First strikeout for Woodard. 2 outs in the second. And then over to the right fielder, Brian Gordon. Yeah, Mirabelli already was with 3 homers this year. He had 6 homers all of last year. His second career multi-homer game. Brian Gordon, the hitter, in the pitch. That's a slider, misses inside. It's 1-0. No runs, 1 hit for the Stingers. No runs, 1 hit for the Rivercats. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday night. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's bounced down to the first baseman on 2 outs. Backing up, Johnson makes the play, feeds Woodard, and it is in time to nip Gordon. I'll tell you, he was caught in between hops, and Johnson just did keep the ball in his glove, and he fired to Woodard. They just did beat Gordon. 3-1 on the put out, a 1-2-3 inning for Woodard. He's retired 6 of the first 7 he has faced. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We're through an inning and a half. Salt Lake nothing, Sacramento nothing. At the bottom of the second after this on Talk 650 KST.
Your place to talk with Armstrong and Getty. Dr. Laura, Michael Sapp, and George Norrie late nights. Talk 650 KSTE. The Talk Station. Talk 650 KSTE.
Fellas, how you doing?
Up antenna.
Hi, you guys.
Switch on.
Love your show.
Easy to work.
Armstrong and Getty.
Press talk button and broadcast from room to room.
Live from Studio C in the morning.
And even house to house.
Why don't you get a cork or something? It's really good for your butt muscles. You know why I have such a nice ass? From years of clamping hard down tight.
The Armstrong and Getty Show. Early mornings on the Talk Station. Talk 650 KSTE. Talk 650 KSTE. Sacramento Rivercats baseball on Talk 650 KSTE.
Johnson will be the hitter up for the Rivercats. It'll be Johnson, Swisher, and Wilson. Numbers 5, 6, and 7 to face Buchek as Chris to the plate. The fastball on the outside edge for a strike. It's 0-1. Dan hitting .327 now, 5 homers and 17 driven in. He has cooled off since his first 6 or 7 balls. He was on absolute fire in the early going. Off speed, that's hit down the first baseline foul, and it's 0-2. Danny, .290 last year in Midland. 27 homers, 114 RBIs. Texas League All-Star, Baseball America AA All-Star. What a year he had last year. A nice start to this year as the right-hander's 0-2 pitch. That misses high with the fastball. It's 1-2. Left-handed hitter, slightly open stance. Center fielder thrower playing very deep and shaded towards right center. There's a 1-2 pitch. That misses low and inside. I can't believe how deep he's playing. And it's 2-2. That's no knock on Johnson. I mean, rarely do you see a center fielder play that deep. I mean, he's literally maybe 35, 40 feet from the warning track in right center. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's chopped foul at home plate. Count remains at 2-2. Well, he has plenty of time to go back for a ball. He plays a little more shallow center field. It's just, I don't remember a center fielder playing that deep on anybody. 2-2 the count. No score, bottom of the second. Buchek out of a windup. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's swung on and foul tipped. Count remains at 2-2. Buchek, 21 pitches so far in the ball game. The Salt Lake Stingers wearing the gray tops with the red sleeves, red letters and numbers. Rivercats wearing those white jerseys with the black sleeves. Buchek out of a windup. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's chopped foul by home plate. Gilmer remains at 2-2. Rivercats hitting .245 so far on the homestand. The team ERA around 6. That game yesterday didn't help. Here's a 2-2 pitch on Johnson. That's foul to our left. Going to the concourse. And we're still at 2-2 here in the second inning. Eric Hinsky in a bit of a slump for Toronto. He's in an 0-for-18 skid. Here's a 2-2 pitch. That's taken a little bit low. Ball 3-2. Other scores: Detroit leading Minnesota 11-5. That game is in the 7th. There's a 3-2 pitch. That's bounced on the left side. Amazing. It dives, smothers from his knees, throws to first, not in time. And the ball is thrown away from Quinlan, and it bounced on top of the railing and did not go into the dugout, and that was fortunate for Salt Lake. So that'll be a base hit for Dan Johnson. Great effort. They had him shaded up the middle. Amazing, a great job in diving and smothering that baseball, but no chance to throw out Johnson. So an infield single for Dan, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Nick Swisher. Good piece of hitting by Dan Johnson. I mean, he hit it to where normally would be a routine play for the shortstop. Amazing was played way up or shaded well up the middle. Here's the pitch to Swisher. That's taken low. It's 1-0. Nick hitting .333, 2 homers and 8 driven in. No score, bottom of the second from Raley Field. The Rivercats are 2-3 at this ballpark this year. Dan Johnson takes his lead. Buchek at the belt. And the 1-0 pitch. That's a fastball that misses high. It's 2-0. Nick Swisher in the ball game yesterday. He was 2 for 4 with a walk. He was in the 2 slot. There's a 2-0 pitch. That's swung on it down the left field line. It's slicing on Riggs and out of play. And it's 2-1 on Swisher. No runs, 2 hits for the Rivercats. No runs, 1 hit for Salt Lake. Swisher's first hit as a Rivercat was against this club. Yeah, it was a big 2-out, 3-run double, which tied the baseball game up at 7. A very exciting comeback for the Rivercats, down 7-1, actually down 7-0 at one point. And they tied it up at 7, only to lose in the bottom of the 9th by a final score of 8-7. And Swisher chops one foul toward the Salt Lake dugout, and now remains at 2-2. Adam Morrissey flips into the crowd. Morrissey getting closer and closer back in the lineup. Hamstring pull for Adam Morrissey, but he'll be back soon. Rivercats a little banged up right now. Johnson takes his lead. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's taken inside. It's now 3-2. Mike Rouse went on the disabled list last Thursday, retroactive to April 14th. With a sore back. Reams has that strained right lat, but he's getting closer. 3-2 on Swisher. There's a 3-2 pitch. The runner goes. The pitch is swung on. A drive to right center. Hit well. Gordon going back. He will not catch up with it. Hits the top of the wall. Into third base goes Johnson. And into second with a double is Swisher. And the Rivercats have second and third and nobody out. So Nick Swisher, a double off the right center field wall. And about 6 feet up that wall. And for Swisher, that is double number 2 on the year. And here is Tom Wilson, the catcher. So Swisher just misses his 3rd home run of the year. There's Wilson. Wilson hitting .250 now. On 10 for his first 40 as a Rivercat. He's walked 13 times on the year. So the Rivercats in business here in the second. That's 3 hits off boot check. As Chris at the belt. And the pitch. Fastball misses a little high. It's 1-0. Brewers are leading the Arizona Diamondbacks 10-6. That game is in the 8th. Junior Spivey has homered against his former team. Danny Bautista has hit his second. And Ginter has hit his third. 1-0 the count, second and third. Nobody out here in the second. 1-0 pitch. That's taken a little low. Looked like a pretty good pitch now. 2-0. But they're in the top of the third in Anaheim. It's 1-0 Texas. They're in the top of the third in Seattle. It's 1-0 Oakland. Hudson and Mesh in that one. Swisher at second. Johnson at third. Right-hander at the belt. And the 2-0 pitch. That misses low and outside. It's now 3-0. So 3-0 on Wilson, and now Buchek and danger loading the bases for Matt Watson. Rivercats were 50-22 at Rayleigh Field last year, not counting the playoffs. It's a 3-0 pitch. That's taken for a strike. A fastball right down the middle. It's 3-1. Buchek, big bonus baby. He was drafted out of Auburn University. And the Angels are very high on him. Right-hander at the belt. And the 3-1 pitch. That's taken high, ball 4. He's not missing by much, but the bases are loaded for Matt Watson. And that will prompt a visit from the pitching coach, Rich Bubbard. So Buchek, who is the 20th overall pick of the June 2000 free agent draft, had a little taste of the big leagues for the Anaheim Angels last year, was 0-1 in year 9.5. 10 1/3 innings, 16 hits, 13 runs, 11 earned. He issued 6 walks and struck out 7. But the majority of the year in Salt Lake, though, he was 8-9, ERA of 4.25, and flashes of brilliance. 26 starts, 171 and 1/3 innings, 194 hits. He issued 43 walks. He struck out 82. Out of LaPorte High School in Indiana. He's out of Auburn. So Chris Buchek, who will turn 26 in October. The Angels will be patient. Pretty good size investment in him as Watson, left-hand hitter at the plate, bases loaded, nobody out. Buchek's pitch. Fastball misses outside. It's 1-0. Already 37 pitches for Chris Buchek. Watson 217, couple of home runs, 8 driven in. Left-handed hitter at the plate. As Wilson, Swisher, and Johnson take their leads. And the right-hander's 1-0 pitch. That misses low. Ball 2, 2-0. So Buchek having a little trouble finding the zone right now. He's 2-0 to Watson. Rivercats have lost 4 out of 5 games to this club. Here's a 2-0 pitch. That's taken high. It's now 3-0. You can tell by the body language of Chris Buchek that he's frustrated. So 3-0 the count on Watson, with Francis Gomez waiting next. Buchek at the belt. And the 3-0 pitch. That's taken for a strike at the knees. 3-1. St. Louis beat Houston 12-6 today. Matt Morris with a win, 3-1. Reading the loss, 0-3. Home runs in the game. Ray Langford is his third. Reggie Sanders is 6th. Jim Edmonds is 3rd. Scott Rowland is 8th. For Houston, Bagwell hit his 5th. Here's the pitch. That's swung on and fouled away on the left side out of play. It's now 3-2. Chad Harville worked 1 hitless and scoreless inning in that game. Matt Morris, 6 innings of 4-hit baseball, out 1 earned run. So bases loaded, 3-2 the count. Matt Watson, the left-hand hitter at the plate. As Wilson, Swisher, and Johnson take their leads. And the 3-2 pitch. That swung on a line drive down the right field line that will fall in for a base hit and one off the wall. Johnson will score. Swisher around third. He'll score. Going to third base. Wilson on a double from Watson. It's 2-0 Sacramento. So Watson picks up RBIs 9 and 10 on the year, a double that went off the bullpen fence down there in right field. And here is Francis Gomez, the second baseman. So the River Cats in business indeed. A 2-run second and threatening nobody out. Gomez, the fifth man about here in this second inning. Here's the pitch from Buchek to Gomez. Fastball in the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. 2 runs, 4 hits for the River Cats. No runs, 1 hit for Salt Lake. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's bounced on 2 ups to the third baseman Pelaez. He gloves it. He fires across to first in time, and there is 1 away, and the runners have to hold. That ball looked like it was going to be gloved by Pelaez on the second up, but at the very last second, hit the lip of the infield grass. And Pelaez, good reaction to stick with it, and they get the out at first base. Here's Steve Stanley, the center fielder. That was not an easy play by Pelaez. I mean, he hit the very edge of the lip of the infield grass, and it darted very quickly, and he's able to put his glove down before it got past him. But here is Stanley, who was singled on an 0-2 pitch in the first inning, 1 for 1. Here's a pitch. That misses low, ball 1-0. The infield is in. Quinlan, Specht, Mazigan, and Pelaez all in. Actually, the second baseman, Specht, and the shortstop, Mazigan, got a medium depth. Pelaez even with the bag at third. Quinlan just about even with the bag at first as the 1-0 pitch. That's taken low. It's now 2-0. Stanley, the sixth man about here in this second inning. Right-hander comes set, and the 2-0 pitch. That's swung out. It foul on the left side on the concourse area. And counts now 2-1 on Steve Stanley. Tampa Bay beat Baltimore today 7-3. Abbott over Riley. Martinez in his third. Baldelli with his first. The 2-1 pitch. That's bounced on the left side on one off. Specht will glove it. He's coming home, and the throw is not in time. Oh, Specht tried to throw home on one hop. One hopper hit the Specht. He tried to throw home and could not, and the run scores, and it's now 3-0 River Cats. So the fielder's choice, and that goes 4-2. The 10th fielder's choice, and Wilson scores. Watson to third. And safe at first is Stanley. So Specht, who had an easy out at first base, but thought he had a chance of getting Wilson at home plate. It was a close play, but Wilson was in easily. 3-0 ball game. So here's Castro, the seventh man about here in the second inning. 3-0 River Cats. Still just 1 out. Castro bounced back to the pitcher Buchek with Stanley going on the pitch in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. That's taken low and away, 1-0. So Stanley with his third RBI of the year. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's reached for and fouled back. It's 1-1. 3 runs, 4 hits for the River Cats. No runs, 1 hit for Salt Lake. Nice to have you with us. Johnny Dosco with you. Seba Daniels doing the engineering. Now, Chopper Specht was about 20 feet behind the mound when he gloved it. There's a 1-1 pitch. That's taken on the outside corner for strike 2, 1-2. And he's going to have an off-balance throw to home plate. It was a pretty good throw, but Wilson, contact zone, go zone. He was off on the pitch, and he got in there safely. Runners on first and third here with 1 out. Buchek at the bell. Now the 1-2 pitch instead. He steps off. That faked a third throw to first. The one Duke sure got called a balk on in the 14th inning. That's too bad. It really, whether it's the A's losing on that or anybody, it's just too bad that a balk was called in the 14th inning of a great baseball game, a 1-1 game. To lose it on a balk, it's just a shame. The umpires made the right call or the wrong call. It's just, you hate to lose it on a balk. Stanley at first, Watson at third. 1-2 the count as Buchek comes set the 1-2 pitch. That's nubbed foul behind home plate. And the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3-0 Rivercats, bottom of the second. If you want your home to look picture perfect, visit the experts in any of the Sacramento area for Z paint and wall covering locations. You'll find quality paint, expert advice, and old-fashioned service. Let's keep an eye on that Tucson game tonight. Tucson is at Portland. Rivercats 3.5 games behind the Sidewinders coming in. Las Vegas is at Tacoma. As Buchek goes over to first, keep an eye on Stanley. Fresno 2-11. They finally won last night. They defeated Edmonton by a final score of 9-5. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That's taken high. Ball 2, 2-2. Yeah, some former Rivercats on that Albuquerque club. Mike Colangelo's on that team. Larry Sutton. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That swung on a fly ball to right field. Will this be deep enough? Backing up is Gordon. He's up with it. He makes the catch. Tagging is Watson. The throw is cut off. A run scores. It's 4-0 Rivercats. So Castro comes through with a sacrifice fly, his third RBI of the year. The Rivercats have a 4-0 lead. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Mike Edwards. So a nice 4-run lead for Steve Woodard. And here's Mike Edwards with a runner on first and 2 out. Edwards hit by a pitch in the first inning. We're in the bottom of the second, 4-0 Rivercats. As Buchek comes set in the pitch. Fastball misses high. It's 1-0. Florida and Philadelphia, they're tied at 7 going into the bottom of the 10th. Jim Thome has hit his third. Lowell has hit 3 home runs. Mike Lowell with home runs 2, 3, and 4 in that game. Cubs all over the Pirates 12-1. An 8-run first inning. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's taken low, 2-0. Atlanta beat Cincinnati 9-5. Calgary's Chris Reinsma with a win, 1-0. Furcall at a home run. Andrew Jones with his third. For the Reds, Sean Casey had 2 home runs in that game. Seattle batting in the bottom of the third. So 1-0 Oakland. Pitch to Edwards is lifted foul on the right side. Falls short of the Solon Club. And the count on Mike Edwards, 2-1. Buchek looks in to get a sign. Stanley being held on there by Quinlan. And the 2-1 pitch. That swung on, line drive right field, hit right at Gordon. And Brian makes the catch and the inning is over. But the Rivercats get 4 runs with the benefit of 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 man left. We're through 2 complete. Sacramento 4, Salt Lake 0. Back at the top of the third after this on Talk 650 KST.
There's really nothing else like him on the radio anywhere. He's Michael Savage. This is a talk show you're going to want to listen to every afternoon, 4 to 7, only on Talk 650, KSTE. Talk 650, KSTE. Talk about Talk 650.
Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE.
Exciting Rivercats baseball. Here again is the voice of the Rivercats, Johnny Dusko, on Talk 650, KSTE.
All right, we go to the top of the third. Steve Woodard now has a 4-run lead. 4 runs, 4 hits for the Rivercats. No runs, 1 hit for Salt Lake. Going to be Jake Thrower, followed by Brian Specht, and then Adam Riggs. 8-9-1. Woodard has retired 6 of the first 7 batters he has faced. Thrower hitting .360. No homers and 7 driven in. Into the grass at third is Edwards. Thrower, a switch hitter batting from the left side. Former Padre product. Right-hander's pitch. That swung on and lifted to left center. Moving over for it is Watson. So is Stanley. It'll be, who will it be? It'll be Watson to make the catch for the out. Watson and Stanley were converging on it, and the left fielder made the catch. They bumped into one another, but fortunately, Watson held on. So 1 down in the third. That's 5 straight and 7 of 8 retired by Steve Woodard. And that will bring up the second baseman, Brian Specht. So here's Specht. Brian hitting .318, a couple of home runs, 7 driven in. One of those home runs an inside the park job against the Rivercats in Salt Lake. As Woodard to the plate, and the fastball misses low. It's 1-0. Well, beginning April the 26th, you can enter at participating Subway locations to win one of 2 great Subway Series road trips. Here's a bunt by Specht, foul behind the plate. It's 1-1. But a road trip to the AAA All-Star game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, or a trip to Portland to watch the Rivercats play the Portland Beavers. And the trips include airfare, hotel, car rental, and $500 spending money. Subway, eat fresh. Into the grass at third is Edwards as Woodard to the plate in the 1-1 pitch. That's chased and missed on an off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. So Woodard, he throws strikes. He changes speed so well. Steve looking for his 3rd victory in as many decisions. Center fielder Stanley shaded towards left center. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That's chased and missed. Down he goes. So Woodard picks up his 2nd strikeout, and that's 6 in a row retired by the Alabaman. Now to bring up the left fielder, Adam Riggs. Here's Riggs, who flied out to Watson in left field in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Well, it's time for neighborhood trivia presented by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. But what former National League home run king made his debut on the Senior PGA Tour in 2000? Here's the pitch from Woodard. That's chased and missed on a slider. It's 0-1. And what former National League home run king made his debut on the Senior PGA Tour in 2000? Well, the answer in the bottom half of this inning. Woodard to the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's taken outside. Ball 1-1. Riggs was a non-roster invitee this year. Riggs in his 11th year of pro ball. There's a 1-1 pitch. That's taken for a strike to the knees. Good pitch. A fastball, and it's 1-2. Riggs had some big league time with the Padres in 2001. Played in Mexico in 2002. Had 61 at-bats for Anaheim last year. 1-2 pitch. That's taken low. It's 2-2. He came up with the Dodgers in 98, 99, and 2000. He spent the entire years with Albuquerque. He had some good years. I mean, 371 in 98, 170 at-bats. Funny, he was on the fast track. I remember hearing all about him in 95 and with the San Bernardino Stampede. He hit 362. He won a batting title. 196 hits in the Cal League. Here's a ground ball past Edwards and down the left field line for a base hit. Over to get it in the corner is Watson, and Riggs into second base with a double. So he continues to hit as he picks up the 2-out double here in the third. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Alfredo Amezaga. Here's Amezaga, grounded out to the second baseman Francis Gomez in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. That's only the second hit off Woodard. Amezaga, a little bit of a slow start here for 2004. It's amazing that Amezaga was actually playing third base for Anaheim last year. As the pitch taken for a strike and the count's 0-1. That's not to take anything away from Alfredo Amezaga. He's one of the better defensive shortstops you will see. But the Angels, a little short at one point, and Amezaga actually played third base. You just can't visualize Alfredo Amezaga as a third baseman. Amezaga stands at 5'10", and that's generous. Weighs 165. There's a pitch. That swung on line, drive down the left field line, fair ball, base hit. It'll go for extra bases. Rounding third and scoring is Riggs. Into second base with a double is Amezaga, and it's a 4-1 Rivercat lead. So Amezaga with his third RBI of the year as he doubles home Riggs, and here's Rob Quinlan, the first baseman. For Alfredo, that is his third double of the year. And here's Quinlan, who singled in the first inning. Rivercats went 11-5 last year against Salt Lake. Rivercats are 25-28 lifetime against this club. There's the pitch in there for a strike, and it's 0-1 on Quinlan. It has been such a difference, though, playing the Salt Lake Stingers at home as opposed to playing them at Franklin Covey Field. I mean, it's a huge difference. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's bounced foul toward the Rivercat dugout, and Tony DeFrancesco, he'll flip it into the crowd. And it's 0-2. Rivercats are 16-8 at home all time against the Stingers. They really struggle on the road against Salt Lake. I mean, they're 9-20 against Salt Lake at Franklin Covey Field after losing 3 out of 4 to Salt Lake last week. Amezaga takes his lead from second. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's taken inside. Did not miss by much. You can tell by Woodard's body language he wanted that one. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Quinlan. Rob Quinlan's older brother, Tom Quinlan, played with Salt Lake a few years back. And the runner goes. The 1-2 misses high. The throw down to third, not in time. Amezaga steals it. So Alfredo with a stolen base. That is his third stolen base in as many attempts this year. So now runner on third. It's a 2-2 count. That pitch just missed. So 2-2 the count on Quinlan. It's a 4-1 River Cat lead here in the third inning. Mike Brumley says something to Amazigo, who's creeping down that third base line. Here's a 2-2 pitch. That's swung on and bounced on one hop to Edwards at third. He's up with it. Plants, throws to first in time, and the inning is over. But the Salt Lake Stingers get a run on 2 hits. No errors, 1 left. We're through 2.5. Sacramento 4, Salt Lake 1. We'll have the bottom of the third after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk 650 KSTE, Rancho Cordova, Sacramento. Michael Sepp.
You're all afraid of your children.
The voice you can't ignore.
If the kid comes home with baggy jeans, burn them.
The Savage Nation.
How cute. He's wearing baggy jeans. He looks like a little crack runner. And listen to the nice music he's listening to, Martha. I'm going to kill white boys and hang them by the neck. I'm going to break their back. I'm going to call a crack. I'm going to break their neck. I'm going to hit that hole. Take that hole and break a nose. Idiots. White punks with pimples on marijuana.
Come on. Got it yet? Michael Savage, 4 to 7 on Talk 650 KSTE. You're listening to Sacramento Rivercats Baseball on Talk 650 KSTE. Rivercats Baseball is brought to you by U.S. Bank. Think free. Bank smart. U.S. Bank's free checking now has free internet bill pay. Noble Way Pest Control. Don't let bugs and rodents drive you away. Call the Knights of the Noble Way. And by Waste Management. From everyday collection to environmental protection. Look to Waste Management.
Well, the first pitch to Graham Coots is fouled away down the left field line, slicing into the crowd. It's 0-1. It'll be Kuntz, Johnson, and Swisher. Face the right-hander Chris Buchek. 4-1 Rivercats, bottom of the third. Kuntz takes low. It's 1-1. But the Roseville Auto Mall is a proud sponsor of your Rivercats. Home to over 8,000 new and used vehicles. 16 dealers, 21 brands, 1 location. Eureka Road off I-80. We know what drives you. Change up. That's chased and missed, and it's 1-2. Good pitch from Buchek. Kuntz grounding into a 4-6-3 double play in the first inning. 0-for-1. Big left-handed hitter. PCL MVP last year is the 1-2 pitch. That swung on and bounced on the right side on 2 offs. It'll be gloved by Specht. He plants, throws, and gets him. And there is 1 away. So 1 down in the third. And that will bring up the first baseman, Dan Johnson. Here's Dan Johnson, who singled and scored in the second inning. Rivercats lead 4-1 here in the bottom half of the third. There's Buchek out of a windup in the pitch. That's a fastball taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. Well, the answer to our State Farm neighborhood trivia question of what former NL home run king made his debut on the Senior PGA Tour in 2000, as the pitch is chopped foul toward the Salt Lake dugout on the first base side, and the count's now 0-2 on Johnson. Know the answer to that? Yeah, Mike Schmidt. Michael Jack Schmidt. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That swung on a hard hit ball on 1 hop to the second baseman. Speck gloves it about 6 feet on the infield grass, and the second baseman throws him out, and there are 2 away. That's 4 straight, retired by Chris Buchek. 5 out of 6. And to bring up the right fielder, Nick Swisher. That was neighborhood trivia brought to you by State Farm Insurance Agents Steve Indriana in Sacramento, and Marco Iwanaga, in Marysville. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Mark Iwanaga in Marysville. There we go. Here's Swisher, doubled and scored in the second. Here's the pitch. That's taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. 4 runs, 4 hits for the Rivercats. 1 run, 3 hits for Salt Lake. Swisher a double off the right center field wall in the second. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's taken for a strike. It's 0-2. Swisher just missing his 3rd home run of the year. I'm not taking anything away from his right-handed swing, but his left-handed swing is something to see as the pitch misses low, and it's 1-2. (4-1) Rivercats. We're in the bottom half of the third. Nick Swisher at the plate. The 1-2 pitch. That's hit foul toward the Salt Lake dugout on a couple of hops, and the count remains at 1-2. And the Rivercats trying to get their runs off Buchek. I mean, the bullpen has been so solid for this Salt Lake club. They have been darn near impossible to score runs off of. The Rivercats, the last time Salt Lake gave up runs, their bullpen gave up runs, that was against the Rivercats. Here's the pitch. That's taken outside. Buchek thought it was strike three. He's about ready to head in the dugout. It misses outside. It's 2-2. Yeah, the Rivercats getting runs off Turnbow and Peralta. That's the last time the Salt Lake bullpen has been scored upon. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's in dirt. Ball 3-2. Rivercats with a 4-run second. The Stingers with 1 in the third. That's where we are in the bottom half of inning number 3. 4-1 Sacramento. Buchek to the plate. The 3-2 pitch. That's bounced on 2 hops to the second baseman Speck. He makes the play from the outfield grass and throws to first in time. So Speck ties a record. 3 assists in the third inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We're through 3. Sacramento 4, Salt Lake 1. We'll have the top of the 4th after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk 650.
Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE. Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk 650 KSTE. Back to school, we take you for those good old lessons of social engineering with your tutor, Dr. Laura.
Don't blame it all on me.
Your resource for all your domestic management needs.
It's not simplistic, it's clarity.
And don't forget the household tips.
Catch more flies with honey.
Yeah, I know, I've heard that one.
It's homespun fun.
Yes, I'm glad you said it. I don't want to be held accountable for that.
Your daily dose of higher learning.
Hope you're taking notes, Teresa.
The Dr. Laura Show, Monday through Saturday, 9 till noon on Talk 650 KSTE. Talk 650 KSTE.
Are you ready?
Yeah!
I love it.
You'll know it when you hear it. This is Sacramento Rivercats Baseball, 2003 Pacific Coast League champions and AAA affiliate of the Oakland A's on Talk 650 KSTE.
We go to the top of the 4th inning. The Rivercats are leading at 4-1. And it will be Alex Pelaez, Gary Johnson, and Wilmy Evans, numbers 4, 5, and 6, to face Steve Woodard. Pelaez flied out to the center fielder Stanley in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. As Woodard to the plate in the pitch. Fastball taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Pelaez 20 for 51 now. Just below the 400 mark. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's taken outside. It's 1-1. Pelaez tied for 8th in the league in hitting. And as the pitch misses outside, it's 2-1 on Pelaez. Rivercats getting their 4 runs. A 2-run double from Matt Watson would score Johnson and Swisher. The fielder's choice. Ground ball hit by Stanley where Wilson scored. And then the sacrifice fly by Castro scoring Watson. 2-1 pitch. That's swung on. A fly ball to right field. Coming up for it is the right fielder Swisher. He makes the catch about 15 feet from the right field line. And there is one away. So 1 down in the 4th. That'll bring up Gary Johnson, the designated hitter. Rivercat fans for 20 years now. Java City has been our favorite hometown coffee company. Based here in Sacramento, they hand roast daily the finest, freshest coffees using a unique timed signature roasting process. And discover the delicious flavor of Java City fine coffees and espresso specialty beverages at any of their Sacramento locations and all Raley's and Bel Air stores. Java City, a proud partner of your Sacramento Rivercats. So here is Gary Johnson, who bounced out to the first baseman, Dan Johnson, in the second, 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on a fly ball to center field, hit well. Swisher going back. Swisher still going back. He tries to make the diving catch and cannot come up with it. One hops off the wall. Stanley having trouble with it out there, running second base and digging for 3 is Johnson. And Gary into third base with a stand-up triple. Great effort by Steve Stanley as he tried to make kind of a Jim Edmonds type catch, and over the shoulder leaping, diving catch going behind him. A great effort. But he just missed it, and it one hopped off the wall. A little disoriented as the ball bounced past him, but a great effort by the kid out of the University of Notre Dame. Now, he looks a little banged up out there. And now ready to roll. Here is Willie Evans, the catcher. That would have been a spectacular play had he come up with it. Pitch to the Evis, off speed, chased and missed, 0-1. He's an outstanding effort. I mean, uniform's all dirty as he was diving, actually diving near the warning track, then finally slid on the warning track. 0-1 the count as Woodard's pitch. That's chased and missed to the slider. It's 0-2. 48 pitches now for Steve Woodard. We're in the fourth inning, 4-1 Sacramento. Stanley shade a little bit towards right center as Gary Johnson takes his lead from third. Gary Johnson, his first triple of the year. Next pitch swung on, one hopper back to Woodard. He looks the runner back and throws to first in time. And they're 2 away. Gary Johnson was scrambling to get back to third base. Good, nice play, I should say, by Steve Woodard, the pitcher. 2 down. Here's Brian Gordon, the right fielder. Woodard was a good basketball player in high school. Didn't figure he could go on and play collegiate basketball, but he loved playing the game of basketball in high school. He was a pretty good player. Woodard looks in to get a sign. Brian Gordon, left-handed hitter at the plate. Bounced out to Johnson at first in the second. Here's the pitch. Off speed, that's bounced outside first and foul. It's 0-1. 4 runs, 4 hits for Sacramento. 1 run, 4 hits for Salt Lake. Yeah, for some reason, the River Cats have had a tough time going up to Salt Lake and winning consistently. I mean, 9 out of 29 there. But the same thing, I mean, Salt Lake has had trouble winning here at Raley Field for the most part. Gary Johnson takes his lead, the 0-1 pitch. That's taken a little high. It's 1-1. But Woodard, like usual, for the most part, he is around the plate, letting his fielders do the work. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's taken high. It's now 2-1. Steve Woodard looks into Tom Wilson as Johnson takes the lead from third. The 2-1 pitch. Off speed, chop foul behind home plate. Now 2-2. Woodard had the opportunity to pitch at Fenway Park last year. Of course, he pitched at Fenway Park with Cleveland, with Milwaukee as well, but had the opportunity to pitch with the Red Sox at Fenway last year as the 2-2 pitch. That swung on and lifted to center field. That's hit pretty well. Stanley going back, still going back. He's under it now, and Stanley makes the catch about 5 feet from the warning track in left center, and the inning is over. So Stanley catching up with this one. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. We're through 3.5. Sacramento 4 and the Stingers 1. Back with the bottom of the fourth after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Sacramento's Talk Station.
Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE.
The world is a dangerous place.
There are several trains that have been exploded to bits.
And it just got a lot more dangerous.
A nation can survive its fools.
Michael Savage.
But it cannot survive treason from within.
He'll help you make sense of it all.
The traitor appears not a traitor. He speaks in accents familiar to the victims, and he wears their face in their arguments.
Michael Savage, the voice you can't ignore. Afternoons at 4 on Talk 650 KSTE. You're listening to Sacramento Rivercats Baseball on Talk 650 KSTE. Rivercats Baseball is brought to you by Sure West Wireless. Sure West, the lowest flat rate in town. Plans start at $29 a month. Subway sandwiches. Subway, eat fresh. And by Brazil Paint and Wall Covering, the official paint company of the Sacramento Rivercats.
The bottom of the fourth, it's a 4-1 Rivercat lead. It'll be Tom Wilson, Matt Watson, and Francis Gomez. And the Rivercats Idle Night. This Idle Night brought to you by Heineken Rivercats Idle Night. You've got to come out and see this. They're doing karaoke between innings. It is classic. Pitch misses low. It's 1-0 on Wilson, who walked and scored in the second. Some good singers, some, not quite as good. There's a 1-0 pitch to Wilson. That's lifted foul on the right side out of play. It's 1-1. Four runs, 4 hits for Sacramento. 1 run, 4 hits for Salt Lake. Tom Wilson, the former Blue Jay, spent all of 2002 and all of 2003 with Toronto. There's a 1-1 pitch from Buchek. That's a fastball taken low. It's 2-1. Buchek has retired 5 straight since Stanley reached on the fielder's choice in the second. There's a 2-1 from Buchek. That's taken outside. It's now 3-1. Well, the Golden One Credit Union, California's leading credit union, is proud to bring you this date in baseball history. So this date in 1898, as Buchek's 3-1 pitch to Wilson is swung on and lifted down that right field line. It's slicing on Brian Gordon. Will it slice out of play? It will. And counts 3-2 on Wilson. This date in 1898, in the game against the Giants, Philadelphia Nationals pitcher Bill Duggleby. It's a grand slam in his first major league at bat. No one since has repeated his feat. How about that? A grand slam in your first big league at bat. This date in 1900, in a small wooden ballpark located at 39th and Princeton, the White Sox played their first game in franchise history, losing to Milwaukee 5-4. There's a 3-2 pitch. That's swung on and lifted down the right field line. That's slicing on Gordon, going out Quinlan and Speck too, and reaching over the railing is Speck. Or excuse me, that was Quinlan or Speck, and could not come up with it. So the count remains at 3-2 on Wilson. And this date in 1951 at Fenway Park, Senator Gil Cohn hits 2 triples in the same inning. Gil Cohn of the Washington Senators. So it's impressive. 2 triples in 1 inning. That's strange. Remember Mario Valdez? Well, Steve Klauke, the voice of the Salt Lake Stingers, was telling me that Valdez once in a game in 2000 had 7 RBIs in 1 inning. 3-2 pitch. That's fouled away on the right side out of play. Count remains at 3-2. 4-1 Rivercats. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. We had a grand slam homer and a 3-run homer in 1 inning. And that was Mario Valdez, former Salt Lake Buzz, and actually former Sacramento Rivercat. So here's Wilson, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 4-1 Rivercats. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Buchek out of a windup. Now the 3-2 pitch. That's fouled away on the right side. Count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now, Silver Legacy Resort Casino in Reno presents the Comedy of Ron White. That'll be April 24th, this coming Saturday. For tickets, call 1-800-MUST-SEE or visit silverlegacy.com. A's now lead 2-0. They scored a run in the 4th inning. Eric Chavez has hit his second home run of the year as Wilson takes high ball 4. Buchek not happy with that. He thought that was a good pitch. So Wilson walks, and that is the second walk issued by Buchek. He has hit a batter and walked 2. And here's Matt Watson, the left fielder. Watson with that 2-run double in the second inning. He doubled and scored. RBIs 9 and 10 for Watson. 4-1 Rivercats were in the bottom of the 4th inning. Rivercats trying to snap the Salt Lake Stingers' 6-game winning streak. Last team that Salt Lake lost to was the Rivercats in Salt Lake. As the right-hander to the plate and the pitch. That's swung on and probably stroked into center field for a base hit. Into second base goes Wilson. So Watson with his second hit. And the Rivercats have first and second with nobody out for the second baseman, Francis Gomez. And that was a game the Rivercats won 9-1 over Salt Lake. Joe Blanton with his 7 strong innings. As we said, the Salt Lake bullpen has been flawless, and the starting pitching has been pretty tough as well. There we go. Gomez, the hitter. See if Gomez is up there to bunt with 2 on and nobody out. Gomez bounced out to Pelaez, the third baseman in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. Coming in on the grass at first is Quinlan. Shortstop Amaziga trying to bait Wilson as Buchek at the belt. And Gomez squares to bunt. He gets the bunt down the third base line, but foul, and it's 0-1. Hey, the Rivercats, talk about that 9-1 win. The Rivercats need a win like that right now. They need a 9-1, 10-1, 11-1 win. Remember, tomorrow night, 7:05 start, a Crystal $1 family feast night, and it will be Mike Ziegler for the Rivercats against Delvin James of the Salt Lake Stingers. Delvin James, an exciting pitcher. And Friday night will be the conclusion of the 4-game set, the final game of the 8-game homestand. It will be Canada's Steve Green for the Salt Lake Stingers against Mike Wood, the Floridian. 2 on and nobody out. 0-1 the count. Gomez squares to bunt. And the bunt is missed. And, well, they say he went. Did he go? No, he did not, says Frank Coughlin. And it's 1-1 on Francis Gomez. The Rivercats may have gotten a break there. 1-1 the count. Rivercats coming into this game hitting .266, right about the middle of the pack in the league. Salt Lake, 4th in the league in hitting .285. Colorado Springs is unbelievable. I mean, through the first 13 games, the Sky Sox are hitting .319 as a club. And there's just a half game in front of Albuquerque's. They've been obviously struggling with their staff. Right hitter with the belt. And the 1-1 pitch. He squares the bunt, gets the bunt down. Is it good enough? I don't think so. Buchek goes to third. They get the fielder's choice. So they get the 1-5 put out. Gets the lead runner, Wilson, forced out at third. Watson takes second. Gomez unable to do his job. And that will bring up the center fielder, Steve Stanley. The bunt was hard, and it was back to Buchek, and he had all day. And he fired to Pelaez, and they got the out. So there's Steve Stanley, was 1 for 2. He singled in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second. So here's Stanley in the 5th against Woodard. It'll be thrower, Specht, and Riggs. Woodard looking for his 3rd win. As Gomez and Watson take their leads. And the right-hander's pitch. That's taken outside, maybe with a fastball. It's 1-0. But the tradition continues at Merlino's Freeze. They now have 5 locations throughout the Sacramento region. 3200 Folsom Boulevard, Downtown Plaza Mall. They have Country Club Plaza, Folsom Outlets, and of course Raley Field. Merlino's Freeze and Rivercats baseball, the coolest ticket in town. So here is Stanley with a 1 and no strike count, left-handed hitter. 1-0 pitch. That's chopped foul behind home plate. It's now 1-1. Stanley has that same kind of attitude as you see with Eric Burns. I mean, he enjoys every day he is playing baseball, and it is real. He absolutely loves the game. Loved it in high school, loved it at the University of Notre Dame, and has loved it, this being his 3rd year in professional baseball. As Buchek checks second in the 1-1 pitch. That's taken high with a fastball, and it's 2-1. And he's fun to watch out there in center field or left field, wherever he's playing. We saw him make 3 acrobatic catches in Salt Lake in 2 games. And he almost made another one here tonight on that ball hit by Gary Johnson. Well, he has that all-out effort as Gomez and Watson take their leads. Buchek at the belt on the 2-1 pitch. That's taken outside, maybe. Looked like a pretty good pitch. It's now 3-1. So if he loses Stanley, he'll face Castro with the bases loaded. First and second, and 1 out. 4-1 Rivercats. We're in the bottom half of the 4th from Raley Field. Some action in the bullpen for the Salt Lake Stingers. Dusty Bergman beginning to loosen up. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That's taken low, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So that's the 3rd walk issued by Chris Buchek. And now the bases are loaded with 1 out for Castro, who is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly. And now Quinlan comes in, as does Pelaez, as did Amaziga, try to settle down the right-hander, Chris Buchek. And now Mike Brumley going out. That might be all for Chris Buchek. Mike Brumley going out there. You have a left-hander in Dusty Bergman throwing. Well, the Dodgers are leading Colorado 9-4. The Dodgers with a 5-run sixth. Adrian Beltre with his 6th home run of the year. That's Hideo Nomo against Vladimir. Well, Vladimir Nunez now in there for Colorado. Gonzalez hit his 2nd for Colorado. So we have a new pitcher, Dusty Bergman, will take a 90-second break. Bases loaded, 1 out. Rivercats lead 4-1. We'll have more after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk 650. Talk 650 KSTE.
Armstrong and Joe Getty inviting you to start your day with the Armstrong and Getty Show.
Unlike anything you've ever heard before, and not in a good way.
We kid, it's good. It's the issues that really matter to you.
Jobs, dating, sex, TV, marriage, kids, money, society, and those rotten, stinking, thieving politicians.
But we don't take any of the above very seriously, including ourselves.
Tune in for a laugh
on Talk 650 KSTE.
It's all talk. It's all encompassing. And it's all savage. Weekdays at 4 on Talk 650 KSTE. Exciting Rivercats baseball. Here again is the voice of the Rivercats, Johnny Duska, on Talk 650 KSTE.
All right, Dusty Bergman will take over here for Salt Lake. So Bergman, the left-hander, is making his 5th appearance of the year. He's 1-0 in a ERA of 3.12, 8 2/3 innings, 10 hits, 3 earned runs. He's issued 1 walk and struck out 5. So Bergman to face Castro here in this 4th inning with the bases loaded and 1 out. So Buchek never really got on that roll. He is responsible for Stanley at first, Gomez at second, and Watson at third. Rivercats trying to bust this game open. It's a 4-1 Sacramento lead. And here is Castro. Castro bounced back to the pitcher Buchek in the first and picked up a sacrifice fly in the second. Here's the pitch. That's swung on, line drive, center field. Coming up for it is thrower, and Jake makes the catch. Tagging is Watson, and the throw is cut off, and the Rivercats lead it 5-1. So Castro with his 2nd sacrifice fly of the night. As Watson scores, holding at second Gomez. It's now a 5-1 Rivercat lead. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Mike Edwards. Castro now with 4 RBIs on the year. And here is Edwards. Edwards is 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch in the first, and he flied out to the right fielder Gordon in the second. Center fielder Thrower is shaded a little bit towards right center. Here's the pitch from Bergman. That misses high. It's 1-0. Bergman. The left-hander looks in. Making his second appearance against the Rivercats as Edwards is a line drive into the seats down the left field line. Foul, and it's 1-1. So a bullet from Edwards, and he hooked it foul. 1-1 the count. Edwards hitting .250, 12 for his first 48 from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, as Bergman looks in. Yeah, Bergman 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, and no runs in that appearance against the Rivercats. The 1-1 pitch misses low. It's 2-1. So you can't quite close the book on Buchek yet, as we said, Stanley and Gomez still his responsibility. Bergman checks second in the 2-1 pitch. That's hit down the right field line, slicing foul into the seats. And the count is 2-2. Bergman will take a little walk behind the mound, now climb back up on the hill, now back on the rubber. 2-2 the count. Nice crowd on hand on this Wednesday night. As Stanley and Gomez take their leads, the 2-2 pitch. That misses low and inside. It's 3-2. So Bergman has gone all the way to Edwards, and the runners will be off on this pitch. Stanley from first and Gomez from second. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Bergman from the first base side of the rubber, hand and baseball behind his back as he looks into his catcher, Nieves. Runners take their leads, and they go. The 3-2 pitch. That's swung on and missed. Down he goes. Got him on a fastball. So Edwards strikes out. The inning is over. The Rivercats do get a run, though. On 1 hit, there were 2 walks and 2 left. We're through 4. Sacramento 5, and the Salt Lake Stingers 1. We'll have the top of the 5th after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
But remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE.
Death metal chainsaw music. Not here, you don't. This is Sacramento's Talk Station.
We must follow no other course.
Talk 650 KSTE.
Sean, good morning. You realize
good morning.
Front page of USA Today. All right, Michael. Well, that's exactly what I told you.
Your whole show today has been about my life.
Now listen to this.
Oh, this is going to be good.
I'd rather shoot myself.
Nice, sweet, white, hiney. I agree. What Joe said. You're both crazy.
Armstrong and Getty.
Hi, guys. Love your show.
Wake up and rub my eyes.
You've never heard talk radio like this before.
If that's the soup, I'm having the salad in a roll.
Wake up with Armstrong and Getty.
Break it here.
Early mornings on the Talk Station. Talk 650 KSTE.
Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE.
Exciting Rivercats baseball. Here again is the voice of the Rivercats, Johnny Doska, on Talk 650 KSTE.
All right, top of the 5th we go. It is a 5-1 Sacramento lead. And in the 5th, it'll be Jake Thrower, Brian Specht, and Adam Riggs to face Steve Woodard, the Alabama, looking for his 3rd win. He'll become the first 3-game winner for the Rivercats. Actually, he's the only 2-game winner for the Rivercats right now. Jake Thrower flied out to the left fielder Watson in the 3rd inning, 0 for 1. First pitch to Thrower. That swung on and lifted to left field. Coming up for it is Watson, Matt under it, and he makes the catch, and there is quickly one away. So 1 down in the 5th, and that will bring up the second baseman, Brian Specht. Well, they are now in the 6th inning in Seattle. It's 2-0 Oakland. As you said, Chavez has hit his 2nd home run of the year. Hudson rolling right along, allowing just 3 hits in the first 5 innings of work for him. So Tim Hudson at it again. He came in with an ERA just over 1. Here's the pitch to Brian Speck. That misses high, and it's 1-0. So the Hudson's ERA now 1.11 is the 1-0 pitch taken low. It's now 2-0 on Brian Speck. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's taken for a strike at the knees. It's now 2-1. Speck struck out swinging in the third. Speck hitting .273 against Rivercat pitching this year. As the pitch misses low, and it's 3-1. 5 runs, 5 hits for Sacramento. 1 run, 4 hits for Salt Lake. Speck, a left-handed hitter, chokes up on the bat. The 3-1 pitch. That swung on a busted bat. Line drive into right field for a base hit. So Speck, the 1-out single to right. And that will bring up the left fielder, Adam Riggs. That is the 5th hit off Woodard. Woodard has thrown 60 pitches now, 41 of them for strikes. And here's Riggs. Riggs 1 for 2. Flied out to the left fielder Watson in the first. He doubled and scored in the third. Rivercats 4 in the second and 1 in the fourth. The Stingers with 1 in the third. That's where we are in the 5th. San Diego all over the Giants. The Padres have scored in every inning. And after 4.5, it's 8-0 San Diego. As Woodard delivers high to Riggs, and it's 1-0. Bonds has homered in 7 consecutive games. 667 now for his career as Riggs swings and misses, and it's 1-1. One shy of matching the big league record for consecutive games of the home run, shared by Dale Long in 56, Don Mattingly in 87, and Ken Griffey Jr. in 93. One and 1 the count on Adam Riggs. And Woodard over to first. Keep an eye on Brian Speck. Speck with good speed over there. Barry Bonds, he is something else. 667 lifetime home runs. Babe Ruth next. Babe Ruth, was he 47? Away from Ruth is the 1-1 pitch. That's taken a little high. It's 2-1. We have 47 home runs away from tying Babe Ruth. 2-1 the count on Adam Riggs. And of course, Henry Aaron at 7:55. Runner goes. Got a good jump. The 2-1 pitch. That swung on a fly ball to right center. Hit well. Stanley moving over for it. Still going over. Long way to go. And Stanley makes the running catch for the out. What a play by Stanley. And it's fired in by Swisher. Oh, that's our Merlino's Freeze defensive scoop of the game. Oh, what a play. So 2 outs in this 5th inning as Speck goes back to first. Oh, what a play by Stanley. And he fed Swisher to try to get Speck, trying to double off Speck to first base. Oh, was that an outstanding play by Steve Stanley. He banged into that right center field. Wow, he plays. I mean, he runs the bases with reckless abandon, but same thing out there in the outfield. Great running catch by the center fielder. So 2 down. Here's Alfredo Amezaga, the shortstop. Amezaga 1 for 2. He bounced out in the first and picked up an RBI double in the third. Switch hitter batting from the left side. Well, that'll be shown in the Rivercat highlight reel at the end of the year for sure. As the pitch from Woodard, that's taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. 5-1 Sacramento. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Woodard looks in. Brian Speck being held on by Dan Johnson. And Woodard throws over to first to keep an eye on Speck. So they're in the 12th inning in Philadelphia. Florida leads the Phillies 8-7. Rick has hit a home run on that one. The runner goes. The pitch inside. There will be no throw to second. So Speck steals second base. And for Brian Speck, that is his first stolen base of the year. The A's have added another run in the sixth. They lead 3-0 over Seattle. The 1-1 pitch. Excuse me, check swing. Foul ball by Amazing. It goes to the screen. It's 1-2. Esteban Herman with an RBI single here in the sixth. So the A's now lead 3-0 over the Mariners. Should be enough for Tim Hudson as the 1-2 pitch. That's bounced to the ground toward the second baseman, Francis Gomez. Up with it on the fourth hop. Flips to first in time, and the inning is over. No runs, they hit a man left. We're through 4.5. Sacramento 5, Salt Lake 1. Well, at the bottom of the fifth after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE.
Michael Savage, the voice you can't ignore.
Get with the program.
Don't miss Michael Savage.
I love it.
Afternoons at 4.
That's right.
On Talk 650 K Cordova, Sacramento. You're listening to Sacramento Rivercats Baseball on Talk 650 KSTE. Rivercats Baseball is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall. 16 dealers, 21 brands, 1 location. Eureka Road off I-80. We know what drives you. Merlino's Freeze. Baseball in Merlino's. Your ticket to a cool season. And by KB Home. Welcoming more people home.
All right, the first pitch to Graham Kuntz is taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. Graham 0 for 2, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play in the first and bounced out to the second baseman Speck again in the third. Pitch in there for a strike. It's 1-1 on Graham Kuntz. Big left-handed hitter. 5-1 Rivercats. Here's the pitch. That's swung on and hit into right field for a base hit. Had him played the pull, but he got it between Speck and Quinlan. So a leadoff single for Graham Kuntz, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Dan Johnson. Tomorrow night, it'll be Delvin James for Salt Lake against Mike Ziegler. 7:05 start. It'll be Crystal $1 Family Feast night. And then Friday night, the final game of the homestand, it'll be Steve Green against Mike Wood. Green 3-0. Here's the pitch. That's taken for a strike with a fastball from Dusty Bergman, the left-hander, and it's 0-1. Johnson 1 for 2, singled and scored in the second, bounced out to Speck in the third. Johnson, old hockey player, and he was the goon. I mean, he was a guy very physical in that hockey rink, and he said, I said, you carrying that hockey into your baseball as the pitch is chopped foul outside first and down the line? He said, counts nothing at 2. He said, no way. He goes, I have to have a completely different personality in baseball than I had in hockey. Probably getting kicked out of some games. Very physical hockey player. Thought about pursuing hockey further, but knew that his future was in the game of baseball. I think he made the right call. Kuntz takes his lead at first. In front of him is Quinlan. The first baseman is the 0-2 pitch. That's a line drive. Base hit right field. Kuntz into second base as Brian Gordon gets it in. So runners on first and second with nobody out, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Nick Swisher. Well, they're in the sixth inning in Anaheim. It's 3-1 Texas. That's R.A. Dickey against John Lackey. Lackey trying to get on the board. He's 0-2. Detroit beat Minnesota 11-8. Levine over Radke and Urbina with his first save. Oh, here's Swisher. Switch hitter turned around to bat from the right side. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball that misses high, and it's 1-0. But Buchek goes 3 2/3 innings, and the right-hander allows 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned, issued 3 walks, did not strike out a batter. He threw 90 pitches. So it was a struggle for Buchek as the 1-0 pitch. That swung on and bounced foul outside third. Down the line, it's 1-1 on Swisher. We're in the bottom of the 5th, 5-1 RiverCats. Well, Kellogg Garden Products, a specific soil for every planting purpose. Kellogg, the official planting mixes of the Sacramento RiverCats. Maybe the field looks too good. Johnson and Kuntz take their leads. The lefty at the belt. Now the 1-1 pitch from Bergman. That's taken inside with a breaking ball. It's 2-1. In the 6th, it'll be Quinlan, Pelias, and Johnson 3, 4, and 5 to face Woodard. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's taken high with a fastball. It's 3-1. Left-hander Bergman from the third base side of the rubber looks in. Excuse me, from the first base side. As Johnson and Kuntz take their leads, the 3-1 pitch is taken for a strike, 3-2. Tampa Bay beat Baltimore 7-3 today. Abbott over Riley, Martinez and Valdelli, the home runs for Tampa Bay, and Gibbons hit his second for Baltimore. Here's the pitch. That's swung on, a foul tipped, and the catcher Nieves unable to hold on. In the PCL, Las Vegas leads Tacoma in the 6th, 1-0. The RiverCats tied with Vegas for second place. Tucson leading Portland in the 3rd. It's 2-1. Albuquerque defeating Nashville 12-4. There's the 3-2 pitch. That's taken low, ball 4. Bergman wanted that one. You could tell him. It was a close pitch. So the bases are loaded for Tom Wilson. So Tom Wilson, the hitter. Wilson walked and scored in the 2nd. He walked again in the 4th. Here's Wilson with the bases loaded and nobody out. First walk issued by Bergman. Buchek walked 3 and hit a batter. I'll tell you, things tight, though, in that strike zone. Trying to play it. Here's Wilson, a right-handed hitter. Wilson, the hero, 2 nights ago, as he hit the 2-run homer, giving the RiverCats the 7-6 lead. They would not relinquish as they end up picking up their 5th win. Here's the pitch. That's chopped foul toward the RiverCat dugout on the third base side. It's 0-1. 5 runs, 7 hits for Sacramento. 1 run, 5 hits for Salt Lake. Every RiverCat in the starting lineup has reached base safely at least once, with the exception of Castro, and he has 2 sacrifice flies. Wilson, right-handed hitter. Bases loaded, nobody out. Swisher at first, Johnson at second, Kuntz at third. And now Bergman, the left-hander, taking too much time as Wilson steps out. Bergman finds a sign he likes as the runners take their leads. Now the 0-1 pitch. That's taken high. Ball 1, 1-1. RiverCats last night used K-Mac and O'Brien, Gomes and Lear. I should say yesterday they used K-Mac and O'Brien. 2 nights ago, Gomes and Lear. 3 nights ago, Pote and Flores. Pote worked 3 innings on the 18th. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's taken for a strike to the outside edge, and it's 1-2. The RiverCats this year, with the 5 walks, or the 4 walks they have earned tonight, they have walked 83 times on the year. In contrast, the Salt Lake Stingers have walked 45 times. Woodard has not issued a walk tonight. Infield is in as the left-hander comes set the 1-2 pitch. That swung on and missed on a breaking ball. Down he goes. So Wilson strikes out. Second strikeout for Bergman. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Matt Watson. Watson 2 for 2. He picked up a 2-run double in the second and scored in the fourth. Now, it's 22 1/3 innings now for that Salt Lake bullpen, consecutive scoreless innings. So the Rivercats trying to break that string. Swisher at first, Johnson at second, Kuntz at third. As the lefty Dusty Bergman at the belt in the pitch. Breaking ball is bounced down to the first baseman. It's gloved by Quinlan. He goes to second for one, and they have no play at first. A run scores, so they break the string. 3-6 on the putout. Kuntz scores, going to third. Johnson give Watson his third RBI of the game and his 11th of the year, and the Rivercats lead 6-1. Now they runners on first and third with 2 outs, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Francis Gomez. No chance to get the 3-6-1 double play. Quinlan, a nice play at first base. He threw a strike to Amaziga, but the play was kind of slow to develop, and no chance to get a 3-6-1 or a 3-6-3. Here's Gomez. He's 0 for 2. We're in the bottom of the fifth. 6-1 Rivercats. Their biggest lead of the ball game. There's the left-hander Dusty Bergman. Comes set. Gomez, the sixth man about here in the inning. The breaking ball misses inside. It's 1-0. Well, friends, beginning April 26th. 5 days from today, you can enter at participating Subway locations to win one of 2 great Subway Series road trips. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's taken for a strike, 1-1. Win a road trip to the AAA All-Star Game. It's in Pawtucket, Rhode Island this year. Or you can win a trip to Portland, that great city. Watch the Rivercats play the Portland Beavers. Trips include airfare, hotel, car rental, $500 spending money. Pitch is swung on and squibbed off the end of the bat toward the pitcher, Bergman. He gloves it and flips it underhand to the first baseman, Quinlan. The inning is over. So 1-3 on the putout. Rivercats do get a run, though, on 2 hits, a walk. There were 2 men left. We're through 5. Sacramento 6. And the Stingers 1. We'll have the top of the 6th after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk 650 KSTE. Rancho Cordova, Sacramento. Savage Nation.
Brett, you're on the Savage Nation.
How you doing? Hello?
All right, next case. You violated the rules of the show.
Savage.
I am not like any other talk show host in America.
No one asks me how I'm doing. I don't say, fine, how are you? Then you say, good, glad to hear. Then
That wastes 20 seconds.
Michael Savage.
Please don't ask me how I'm doing.
Follows Dr. Lloyd.
A, you don't know me. B, you don't care.
C, I wouldn't tell you.
Weekdays 4 to 7 on Talk 650 KSTE. Sacramento's Talk Station. Talk 650 KSTE. Borders, language, culture. These are his issues. Listen to Michael Savage. Afternoons 4 to 7, only on the Talk Station. Talk 650 KSTE. Talk 650 KSTE. Sacramento Rivercats Baseball, 2003 Pacific Coast League champions and AAA affiliate of the Oakland A's on Talk 650 KSTE.
All right, top of the 6th we go. It is a 6-1 Rivercat lead. 6 runs, 7 hits for Sacramento. 1 run, 5 hits for the Stingers. And hey, Tony DeFrancesco, if he can get 6 innings, maybe even 7 innings from Woodard, that would be huge. Pote could go tonight. Rivercats pretty well rested in that bullpen. Flores could go as well. Flores, you know, it's funny. Flores allowed 7 hits in that ball game on the 18th, but all 7 were not hit hard. I mean, really, did not pitch that badly at all. He allowed the single to Myceres Tourist, then got Pascucci on the double play ball, and then he allowed 5 consecutive singles, and none of them hit hard. As the breaking ball misses, and it's 1-0 to Rob Quinlan. It'll be Quinlan, Pelaez, and Johnson here in his 6th inning. Woodard out of a windup. Now the 1-0 pitch. That swung on a fly ball to left field. That's hit well. But back is Watson near the track at the wall. Leaps up, and it is gone. Solo homer for Rob Quinlan, and it's now 6-2 River Cats. So I'll give Quinlan his 2nd home run of the year, his 11th RBI, and it's now a 6-2 baseball game. That'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Alex Pelaez. Pelaez 0 for 2. He flied out to the center fielder Stanley in the 1st, flied out to Swisher in right field in the 4th. So for Salt Lake, that is their 13th home run of the year. Here's the pitch from Wood. Oh, fastball hit him. Pelaez hitting the hand with that pitch. Unless they say it hit his bat. It looked like Pelaez was hitting the hand, but they may call that a foul ball. It is. So 0-1 the count. That hit the end of the bat for Pelaez. So Woodard coming in, and it got to hit the end of the bat. Pitch is swung on and banged in the center field for a base hit. So Pelaez hits one right back through the box and into center field for the single. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Gary Johnson. Here's Gary Johnson. That's 7 hits now for Salt Lake. And that one right up the middle. The line drive shot. And here is Gary Johnson, who is 1 for 2 with a triple. Johnson bounced out to first in the 2nd. He tripled in the 4th. See if the River Cats get somebody up in the bullpen. 6 runs, 7 hits for Sacramento. 2 runs, 7 hits for Salt Lake. Pelaez from first base. Middle infielder Gomez and Castro in double play depth is the pitch. That swung on and lifted to center field. Steve Stanley started back. Now he comes in a couple of steps and makes the catch, and there is one away. So 1 down to the 6th, and that will bring up the catcher, Will Nieves.
Catcher number 19, Will Nieves.
Well, take a look at our home run leaderboard, brought to you by KB Home. Calvin Pickering of Omaha leading the league in home runs with 11. You have Ruben Mateo of Nashville, Dan Johnson, of course, of the River Cats, and Brad Hopp of Colorado Springs. They have 5 home runs apiece. Peter Zoccolillo of Oklahoma, Gary Matthews of Oklahoma, and Santiago Perez of Oklahoma. They have 4 home runs apiece. That is our home run leader board, brought to you by KB Home, welcoming more people home. Top of the 6th, 6-2 Sacramento. River Cats trying to win their 6th out of 14 games. Pelaez being held on by Dan Johnson. Here's the pitch. That swung on and bounced down toward the shortstop. Castro makes the play on the 3rd hop, goes to 2nd for 1, and that's all they'll get. Kind of a slow-moving play. Castro moving to his right, but they're able to get the lead runner in Pelaez. 2 down. Nieves safe at first. That'll bring up the right fielder, Brian Gordon. So Brian Gordon, the hitter. Gordon is 0 for 2, bounced out in the 2nd, flied out to the center fielder Stanley in the 4th. Nieves being held on by Johnson. The right-hander's pitch. Breaking ball, he checks his swing. He did go, and it's 0-1. Well, they're in the bottom of the 7th now. Oakland leads 4-0. So a 4-0 lead now for the A's. Jarvis in there now for San Diego. Hatterberg with an RBI double as the 0-1 pitch. That swung on a fly ball to right field coming in. Swisher. Now he goes back a step and makes the catch, and the inning is over. So the home run and nothing else. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. We'll do 5.5. River Cats 6 and the Stingers 2. At the bottom of the 6th after this on Talk 650 KST.
On phone wire.
Gotta be cordless. Internet.
Are you listening?
Is it better than M-Life?
Armstrong and Getty.
I was at the phone store the other day. I'm not kidding.
Check them out.
These young college punks were looking at my phone and giggling.
All the kids with their pierced nipples and their M-Life.
Yeah, exactly.
Go up to Jack like he's rode in on a mule.
Like I'm a gold panner who came down from the hills on his mule.
Wake up with Armstrong and Getty.
Keep your hands off my mule.
Mornings on the Talk Station.
Everybody wants to pet your mule.
Talk 650. KSDE. The enemies are at your gate, moron. They've knocked your door down. They want to burn your country to the ground. Idiots. Why don't you stand up and be a straight-up American like your grandfather was, you punk? Michael Savage. Shall I tell it to you another way? All these jerk-offs that I have to deal with every day. These weaklings, their minds have been warped by their socialist teachers.
Why don't you just get with the program?
Don't miss Michael Savage. You sound like a pothead skateboarder or surfer. This afternoon at 4 on Talk 650 KSDE. Nobody's talking. Talk 650. Like Talk 650. You're listening to Sacramento Rivercats Baseball on Talk 650 KSDE. Rivercats Baseball is brought to you by Silver Legacy Resort Casino Reno. Call 1-800-MUST-SEE or visit silverlegacy.com. Miller's Hot Dogs, the best tasting hot dogs and sausages in the world. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right, friends, we go to the bottom of the sixth, and it is a 6-2 Sacramento lead. It'll be Steve Stanley, Ramon Castro, and Mike Edwards. The top of the order to face left-hander Dusty Bergman. 6 runs, 7 hits for the Rivercats. 2 runs, 7 hits for Salt Lake. Rivercats looking for their 6th win of the year. As Bergman to the plate and the pitch to Stanley. Here's a bunt back to Bergman on one. No one's covering first base. Stanley head first dive, but he is thrown out at first by the pitcher who is Bergman. So it goes Bergman to Quinlan. He kind of led Quinlan on because no one was covering first. It's 1-3 on the putout, 1 down. And that'll bring up Ramon Castro, the shortstop. Stanley, an exciting player. Trying to dive in there head first at first. So 1 down. Here is Ramon Castro, the shortstop, who is 0 for 1 with 2 sacrifice flies on the night. Center fielder thrower shaded towards right center as Castro takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Yeah, Hudson in that game, 6 innings of 4-hit baseball. He has walked 1 and struck out 1. His ERA now under 1 as Castro lines one into right field for a base hit. So a single for Castro. Castro had a notion that the right fielder Gordon was going to try to fire to first. Get the 9-3 putout, but he threw it into second base. So Castro went out single. That'll bring up the third baseman, Mike Edwards. Rivercats now have 8 hits on the night. And here's Edwards, who is 0 for 2. Hit with a pitch in the first, flied out to Gordon in right field in the second, struck out swinging in the fourth. Ron Flores was loosening up in the bullpen for the Rivercats. Edwin Ramos moved to the bullpen as the pitch is taken low to Edwards. It's 1-0. 6-2 Rivercats, bottom of the 6th. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, the 3rd game of this 4-game set. The Rivercats trying to even up this series at 1 apiece. Trying to make it 2 out of 6 overall against Salt Lake. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's taken low. It's 2-0. At one point, Edwards led the A's in RBIs in spring training. They're about 2.5 weeks in. Edwards was leading the team in RBIs. The 2-0 pitch, that's stroked into right field for a base hit. So Edwards going the other way as he does so well. As he picks up the single, Castro moving to second base. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Graham Kuntz. So here's Graham Kuntz. Graham 1 for 3, hitting .333. 2 for 6 so far in his young season. Grounded into a 4-6-3 double play in the first. Grounded out to the second baseman Specht in the third. Singled and scored in the 5th. The left-hander, Bergman to the plate in the pitch. That swung on and popped up foul out of play. Giving chase is Nieves. That will go in amongst the crowd. The attendance 6,000. 677, 6677 the attendance. The lefty, Dusty Bergman, comes set. He checks second in the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, it's nub foul behind home plate. It's 0-2. Yeah, although Graham Kuntz I guess he was directly affected by those fires down south. Talked about his father, who is a forest ranger down there. As the 0-2 pitch misses low and away, and it's 1-2. Gets away from the catcher, Nieves. He can't find it, and the runners move up 90 feet. So the wild pitch moves Castro to third and Edwards to second. And they have a base open. It's a 1-2 count on Kuntz. Well, much of Cuyamaca, the camping site out there was burned. He knew a lot of people that had lost their homes. Those fires, I believe the fires were in October of last year. But people talking about the LA fires, the San Diego area got hit just as hard. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That's chased and missed on a breaking ball. Down he goes. So Kuntz strikes out, 2 outs. That'll bring up the first baseman, Dan Johnson. Good breaking pitch from Dusty Bergman. That's 38 pitches for Bergman. Here's Johnson. Dan is 2 for 3 on the night. Singled and scored in the second, rounded out in the third, singled again in the fifth. 6 runs, 9 hits for the Rivercats, 2 runs, 7 hits for Salt Lake. As Edwards and Castro take their leads, Bergman's pitch. That swung on, a drive to right field, hit well. Gordon going over near the track. He's under it and makes the catch about 15 feet from the warning track in right field. The inning is over. So no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We're through 6. Sacramento 6 and the Salt Lake Stingers 2. At the top of the 7th after this on Talk 650 KSTV.
Talk 650 KSTV.
Michael, I want to tell you, you are the funniest man ever.
Michael said.
I want to know why you're not on every radio station across America. I love you. You're so intelligent, and your mind works.
So I'm really getting into your brain.
Well, I just got married, and I don't have a job yet, and I sit and listen to you every day from 4 to 7. I come home and I tell my husband everything you say, and sometimes I'm talking with a New York accent.
Michael Savage.
That's good. That's good.
The voice you can't ignore.
I want to be a personal promoter. You're turning our house into a status nation.
Weekday afternoons at 4 on Talk 650 KSTE.
You know, radio could drive you crazy.
The Talk Station.
What is it?
Daytime, nighttime, anytime.
Way to be strong, man.
You'll know it when you hear it. Talk 650 KSTE. This is Sacramento Rivercats baseball on Talk 650 KSTE.
Top of the 7th inning. Johnny Roscoe with you. Sema Daniels doing the engineering. It'll be Steve Woodard to face Jake Thrower, Brian Specht, and Adam Riggs. Now a right-hander, I believe Lou Pote beginning to loosen up in the bullpen for the Rivercats. Pote working 3 innings 3 nights ago. But if Woodard can give Tony DeFrancesco 7, that would be outstanding. Give the bullpen some rest. Rivercats don't have an off day until Wednesday the 28th, a week from today. So that bullpen will get some work. Woodard misses low. It's 1-0. Good for Rich Harden pitching as well as he did in the ball game yesterday. Even though the A's lost to Seattle. Raul Ibanez 2 solo homers for the Mariners in the ball game last night. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's taken inside. It's 2-0. Thrower, a couple of flyouts to Watson in left field, 1 in the 3rd and 1 in the 5th. Yeah, Matt O'Brien, the left-hander, getting his outright release by the A's. There's a 2-0 pitch. That's taken for a strike. Similar spot as the last pitch on the inside corner. There's one called a strike. It's 2-1 on Jake Thrower. Switch hitter batting from the left side. Edwards in on the grass at 3rd. Woodard out of a windup. Now the 2-1 pitch. That's a chopper bounce right back to Steve. Woodard up with it, jogs a few steps, underhands it to first in time. He's made a say, and there is 1 away. So 1-3 on the putout, 1 down. That's 80 pitches for Woodard. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Brian Speck. Well, Comcast makes it easy to enjoy some of the best high-definition premium and local broadcast programs available, like ESPN in high definition with a crystal clear high-resolution image and CD-quality sound. It's a whole new way to see your world. That was then. This is Comcast. Here's Specht, who's 1 for 2. A left-handed batter. Woodard delivers a strike with a fastball at 85, and it's 0-1. Pretty impressive ratio. I mean, 81 pitches, 56 of them for strikes. There's the 0-1 pitch. That's bounced on the right side. Gomez makes the play, and from the outfield grass, throws the first in time. Gomez had to go about 8 feet to his left and made a nice play. There are 2 down, and 5 straight retired by Woodard. That'll bring up the left fielder, Adam Riggs. So Woodard, outstanding game tonight. As Riggs 1 for 3. Riggs was robbed by Steve Stanley. Stanley with our Merlinos Freeze defensive scoop of the game in the 5th inning. Riggs flied out in the first, doubled and scored in the 3rd. Was robbed, as we said, in the 5th. Woodard out of a windup and the pitch. Fastball misses high, 1-0. No, the way he is going, that's 83 pitches. He may have a chance to pitch the 8th. He gets Riggs quickly here. Steve Woodard out of his windup. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's one line drive hit right at Castro, the shortstop, and the inning is over. Yeah, he may come out there for the 8th. That's 6 in a row retired by the Alabama. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We're through 6.5. It's the River Cats 6 and the Stingers 2. We're at the bottom of the 7th after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk 650 KSTE presents
the Talk 650 Connection.
A safe way for singles to meet. Whether you're looking for a relationship or just want to have fun, you can choose from thousands of people like yourself.
Call 1-866-544-9229.
You'll be directed through personal ads and mailboxes to people with similar values and interests.
You'll meet only the people who interest you.
1-866-544-9229.
To open a free mailbox and hear voice ads from other singles.
1-866-544-9229.
For the Talk 650 Connection.
The Telechat Network.
Nobody's talking like Talk 650. Armstrong and Getty.
This is a good topic, too. I'm glad you called.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hi, what's on your mind? Lorraine, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, Lorraine.
Are you?
You called us.
Okay, all right.
Good Lord. Off to a fast start today.
About your boil, get some boilies and sit in some hot water.
Armstrong and Getty.
You'll be fine.
Little boilies and sit in some hot water.
Yeah.
There you go.
Early mornings on the Talk Station. Talk 650 KSTE.
Good tip.
Hey, come on, the party, really cats.
Sacramento River Cats baseball on Talk 650 KSTE.
Pitcher with the Salt Lake Stingers, Yoshi Mizuo, and he's a 35-year-old left-hander. Last year in Soka City, Japan. Just worked 3 innings, ERA of 9, allowed 3 earned runs and 4 hits. Strained neck muscle last year, which kept him out of action for just about the entire year. Has that big, bright blue glove. And the left-hander in the bottom of the 7th will face Nick Swisher, Tom Wilson, and Matt Watson, numbers 6, 7, and 8. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday night. The River Cats trying to make it 6 out of their first 14 games. River Cats 7th inning stretch brought to you by your greater Sacramento area Subway restaurants. Featuring the new Atkins-friendly wraps, salads, and 7 subs under 6 grams of fat. See your local Subway restaurant with the tasty details. Subway, eat fresh. So Mizuho will face Swisher here. Swisher, a switch hitter, will bat from the right side. He's 1 for 2. Doubled and scored in the second. Bounced out to the second baseman. Specked in the third and walked in the fifth. Mizuho looks in. And the left-hander goes into his windup. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses high, 1-0. This is Salt Lake's first look at Mizuho as well. Seattle has scored 4 in the 7th to tie up the ball game at 4. 1-0 pitch taken low. It's 2-0. Can you believe that? Hansen with a home run for Seattle. So it's a 4-4 ball game, just like that. 2-0 pitch taken low. It's now 3-0. Those runs allowed by Tim Hudson. Hansen with a pinch hit 3-run homer. How about that? Dave Hansen. Here's a 3-0 pitch. That's taken for a strike. 3-1. Dave Hansen, one of the great pinch hitters of our era. And a 3-run homer to tie up the ball game. The pitch taken high, ball 4. So Swisher is aboard on the walk. Second time Swisher has walked in the ball game. And that is 5 walks issued by Salt Lake pitchers. That'll bring up the catcher, Tom Wilson. Attendance 6,677, 66-77 the attendance here at Raley Field. How about that? So a 4-4 game between Oakland and Seattle. Seattle started off 0-6. They won 6 of their last 8. Texas leading Anaheim 3-1. That game is in the 8th. The Yankees defeated the White Sox 3-1. Javier Vasquez with his second win, now 2-1. And Alex Rodriguez starting to get hot as the first pitch misses. It's 1-0 on Wilson. Want to know the count. Here's the pitch. That's taken low. Ball 2, 2-0. Mizuho looks in as Wilson digging in from the right side of the batter's box. Swisher takes his lead from first. 6-2 Rivercats, bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch. That's taken for a strike. It's now 2-1. Tomorrow night, a 7:05 start. Gates open at 6 on the Heineken On Deck show at 7. It'll be Delvin James against Mike Ziegler. Ziegler trying to rebound from his first start in AAA, and it was a struggle. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's taken a little high. It's now 3-1. So Mizuho in danger of walking his second batter of the inning with nobody out. Matt Watson, the left-hand hitter, waits next. Three and 1 the count. Swisher takes his lead. And the 3-1 pitch. That swung on and popped up. Right side, moving over, Speck, the second baseman, and Speck will make the catch in fair territory, about 6 feet from the right field foul line, and there is one away. So one down, that'll bring up the left fielder, Matt Watson. Well, when you think of paint, think of Frazee. Visit the pros in any of the 4 Sacramento area Frazee paint and wall covering locations. You'll find quality paint, expert advice, and old-fashioned service. Matt Watson doubled and scored in the second, singled and scored in the fourth, bounced into a 3-6 fielder's choice in the fifth. Picked up an RBI with that, so he has 3 RBIs on the night, 11 for the year. As the pitch is taken low and it's 1-0. I think Watson might have got something in his eye, backed out immediately when the left-hander delivered that pitch. 1-0 the count. 6 runs, 9 hits for Sacramento. 2 runs, 7 hits for Salt Lake. Lefty versus lefty here as Swisher takes his lead in the pitch. That misses inside. Ball 2, 2-0. In the 8th, it'll be Amaziga, Quinlan, and Pelias, 2, 3, and 4. We'll see if they bring out Woodard for that 8th inning. It's a 2-0 pitch taken low, now 3-0. So Mizuho a little trouble throwing strikes here in the 7th. Left-hander to the plate, the 3-0 pitch. That's taken for a strike, 3-1. Well, join Peak Corp, SMUD's voluntary load management program, and you'll automatically be entered in the Peak Power Hitter Sweepstakes. Batting practice for 2 at Rayleigh Field and 2 River Cat tickets. Rules apply. To join, visit smud.org or call 1-888-742-SMUD. The next pitch misses, ball 4. So Watson walks. So Mizzou has walked Swisher and Watson here in the 7th inning. 1 out. Here's Francis Gomez, the second baseman. River Cats with 4 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, and 1 in the 5th. The Stingers with 1 in the 3rd and 1 in the 6th. That's where we are, bottom of the 7th. 6-2 Sacramento. The number again, 1-888-742-SMUD. Here's a pitch. That's an off-speed pitch, chased and missed, and it's 0-1. Well, it may not have been off-speed, may have been a fastball, but Gomez was well out in front. 0-1 the count. Gomez has bounced out 3 times. Actually tried to move the runners over in the 4th with a bunt. It's a breaking ball of beauty. Chased and missed, and it's 0-2. Good breaking pitch from Mizzou there. Gomez, a right-handed hitter. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's taken low. Ball 1, 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Francis Gomez, the hitter. Steve Stanley waits next. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball. He checks his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, says the first base umpire, Frank Coughlin. So Gomez strikes out. That's the 2nd out of the 7. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Steve Stanley. Here's Steve Stanley. Steve is 1 for 3 on the night. Singled in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, and bounced back to the pitcher, Bergman, in the 6th. Left-hander checks 2nd. Mizzou's pitch. That's taken for a strike on the outside edge. It's 0-1. From the top of the 8th in Seattle, still 4-4 between the A's and Mariners. As the left-hander Mizzou to the plate in the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses low. It's 1-1. So maybe it'll be Pote. We'll see if it's maybe Woodard, though. Woodard has thrown 83 pitches in his first 7 innings of work. He's been very economical with those pitches as the left-hander Mizzou comes set. And the 1-1 pitch. That misses low with a fastball, and it's 2-1. Friday night, a 7:05 start. Steve Green against Mike Wood. Woody looking for his 2nd win. Left-hander to the plate, the 2-1 pitch. That's swung on and popped up shallow right field. Going out Speck, coming in the right fielder Gordon. It'll be Gordon to make the catch, and the inning is over. So no runs, no hits, a couple of walks, and 2 left. We're through 7. River Cats 6, Salt Lake 2. We'll have the top of the 8th after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
So, okay, roll it. There's a streak in all of us. You know what I'm saying? They're like shock dogs. Don't you understand?
Michael Zed.
Afternoons at 4. I feel good. I'm giddy from it.
On Talk 650 KSTE. Talk with Armstrong and Getty, Michael Savage, Dr. Laura, and Glenn Beck.
Talk to us about the things that matter to you most. Whatever's on your mind, no matter who the host. Got a question or a gripe or giving someone props. Doesn't matter because the conversation never stops. Hit the buttons, dial the numbers, come on, don't be shy. Might be the only chance you get, so don't let it slip.
You do the talking.
I guess my concern is that
On the Talk Station. Talk 650. Talk 650.
Talk to us.
KSTE. The Talk Station. Talk 650 KSTE. Rancho Cordova, Sacramento. Talk 650 KSTE.
Bobby here.
Hi, this is Frank Gorsh, and I'm the Riddler from Batman.
Gee, Wally, I gotta get going on account of the Armstrong and Getty show is on.
Prominently featured on the Armstrong and Getty Show.
This is Al Lewis, Grandpa Munster.
It's our A-list of B-list celebrities.
This is Johnny Cochran. If they don't entertain, you must abstain. From the Armstrong and Getty Show.
Hi, this is Chelsea Charms.
This is Bill Walton. Hi, I'm William Shatner.
Armstrong and Getty. Early mornings on the talk station. Talk 650 KSCE. You're listening to Sacramento Rivercats Baseball on Talk 650 KSCE. Rivercats Baseball is brought to you by Subway Sandwiches. Subway. Eat fresh. Tickets.com. The better way to get you to the action. And by Sutter Health. Community-based, not-for-profit.
All right, top of the eighth we go. It is a 6-2 Rivercat lead. 6 runs, 9 hits for Sacramento. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Stingers. We have our first Sure West Wireless call to the bullpen for the Rivercats. Sure West Wireless, the lowest flat rate in town with plans starting at $29 a month. Lou Pote takes over for the Rivercats. What a job by Steve Woodard, the Alabaman. 7 innings of 7-hit baseball, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Just breezed right along. And Steve Woodard looking for his 3rd victory, and the Rivercats 6 outs away from preserving that victory for him. And here's Lou Pote. Right-hander from just outside Chicago. He delivers a fastball for a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Amazinga, Quinlan, and Pelaez 2, 3, and 4 to face Pote. Amazinga 1 for 3 with a double. RBI double in the 3rd inning. Switch hitter batting from the left side. Pote to the plate in the pitch. That swung on a fly ball to right field. Drifting back is Swisher, about 8 feet from the track, and he makes the catch, and there's 1 away. So 1 down in the 8th. I'll look at the first baseman, Rob Quinlan. Lou Pote, no record ERA of 2.35, making his 6th appearance. 7 2/3 innings, 2 hits, and 2 earned runs. He's issued 3 walks and struck out 2. Woodard retired the last 6 he faced after the single by Pelaez in the 6th. Pote, high shed in the right-hander's pitch. That's taken outside. It's 1-0. Well, for 20 years, Java City has been our favorite hometown coffee company. Based here in Sacramento, they hand roast daily the finest, freshest coffees using a unique time signature roasting process. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses low. It's 2-0. Discover the delicious flavor of Java City fine coffees and espresso specialty beverages at any of their Sacramento locations and all Raley's and Bel Air stores. Java City, a proud partner of your Sacramento Rivercats. Here's the pitch. That's taken outside. It's now 3-0 on Rob Quinlan. Quinlan is 2 for 3, singled in the 1st, grounded out in the 3rd, and homered in the 6th. A solo shot in that 6th inning. 6-2 Rivercats were in the 8th. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's taken outside, ball 4. So Pote loses Quinlan. First walk issued by Rivercat pitchers on the night. That'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Alex Pelaez. Pelaez is 1 for 3. He has flied out twice and singled. 6 runs, 9 hits for the Rivercats. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Stingers. Now the Rivercats have only not committed an error in 2 games this year. That's 2 out of 13. As the pitch from Pote taken for a strike and the count's 0-1. That's not a very good stat. So the Rivercats, who have not committed an error in this ball game, trying to make it 3 out of 14. Pelaez hitting just under the 400 mark this year. As Pote comes set in the right-hander's 0-1 pitch. That's taken low and away with a slider at 1-1. Kansas City and Cleveland, they were postponed tonight. We're in the bottom of the 8th now in Seattle. Still 4-4 between Oakland and the Mariners. Dave Hansen, a pinch hit 3-run homer for the Mariners. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That swung on and bounced on one, hop to 3rd. Nice play by Edwards. Goes to 2nd. Oh, he throws it away. Edwards throws it into right field. Going to 3rd base is Quinlan. We had to talk about it, right? So E5, and it's still been 2 games. The Rivercats have not committed an error. So runners on 1st and 3rd. A good play by Edwards to his left. but his throw got past Gomez and into right field. And here is Gary Johnson, the designated hitter. A 6-2 River Cat lead. And now, with the error, you have the tying run on deck in Will Nieves. Gary Johnson bounced out in the second, tripled in the fourth, flied out to the center fielder Staley in the sixth. So the throw gets away from Edwards. And for Eddie, that is his first error of the year. And here's Johnson, left-handed hitter. Has Pote to the plate in the pitch. That's taken low and inside, 1-0. Middle infield of Castro and Gomez in double play depth as Pote bent over slightly at the waist, looks into Wilson. Johnson waving that bat back and forth from the left side as Pelaez and Quinlan take their leads. And the right-hander's 1-0 pitch. That's taken high with a fastball, and it's 2-0. Now Wilson out there to chat with Pote. Well, the tradition continues at Merlino's Freeze. They have 5 locations now throughout the Sacramento region. 3200 Folsom Boulevard, Downtown Plaza Mall. They have Country Club Plaza, Folsom Outlets, and Raley Field. Refreshing Merlino's Freeze. Hey, nothing like on a summer day, Merlino's Freeze, having that combination, strawberry and orange. Nothing like it. Merlino's Freeze, River Cats Baseball, the coolest ticket in town. Gary Johnson at the plate, 2-0 the count. If he loses Johnson, then Nieves would represent the tying run. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's taken low. It just missed. It's now 3-0. Justin Lear, right-hander, beginning to loosen up in the bullpen for Sacramento. 6-2, just 1 out in the 8th inning. River Cats with a 4-run lead here. But Salt Lake threatening. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's taken low. He lost him. Ball 4, and the tying run will come to home plate. So Salt Lake, who has won 6 straight, trying to keep it rolling. Will Nieves, the catcher, will be the batter. And now Rick Rodriguez will go out there and chat with Lou Pote. So the 1-out walk to Quinlan, then the error by Edwards, then the walk to Johnson, and now suddenly Will Nieves is the tying run at home plate. 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the River Cats, 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for Salt Lake. Woodard, 7 strong innings of 7-hit ball, 2 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Pote has issued 2 walks so far here in the 8th inning. So here is Will Nieves as Brian Knight going to break things up on the mound. They're in the top of the 9th now in Seattle. They might go to extras again. It's a 4-4 ball game. Both teams 4 runs and 8 hits. Myers in there for Seattle as Oakland is batting in the top of the 9th inning. Burns up at the plate right now. So here we go. It's Will Nieves, the hitter, 0 for 3. He's bounced out twice and struck out. Bases loaded, 1 out. 6-2 River Cats, top of the 8th. Johnson, Pelaez, and Quinlan take their leads. The pitch from Pote. Breaking ball in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Runners take their leads. Pote looks in to get a sign from Wilson. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's taken low. It's 1-1. Nieves came into the ball game hitting .323. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Lear still loosening up in the bullpen as Pote looks in. And the 1-1 pitch. Off speed, that's fouled back over the screen and amongst the crowd. It's 1-2. That's a big strike there. Now you're 1-2 now on Nieves. Right-hander from the first base side of the rubber comes set. And the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, just missed. Ball 2, 2-2. There's 2-2 on Nieves. Brian Gordon waits next. In the bottom of the 8th, it'll be 2-3-4. It'll be Castro, Edwards, and Kuntz. Johnson, Pelaez, and Quinlan take their leads. Here's the pitch. That's swung on. Hard hit ball, one up. Castro gloves it. Goes the short way to second, on to first. Double play. Nicely done. 6-4-3 double play. Oh, nice turnover there. A 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Nice turn by Gomez. Castro making a nice play to his right. The inning is over. No runs, a walk, an error. Or excuse me, 2 walks, an error, and there was 1 man left. We're through 7.5. It's the River Cats 6, Salt Lake 2. At the bottom of the 8th after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
This station is proud to offer its listeners the ability to listen to this broadcast via the internet. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the stream. We'll be right back. Streaming media provided by liquidcompass.net.
Borders, language, and culture.
He's not new to big-time talk radio.
When they say to me, what do you really believe in with the poor of your society and your show?
But he's taking over the nation.
Borders, language, and culture. They say, what does that mean?
The voice you can't ignore.
The Savage Nation.
And I tell them, close the borders.
Get rid of the illegal alien.
Make English the official language.
There's no assimilation here.
And recognize that the commonalities of our culture are what holds us together.
Michael says, The Savage Nation. Afternoons at 4 on Talk 650 KSTE. Talk 650. You're listening to Sacramento River Cats Baseball on Talk 650 KSTE. River Cats Baseball is brought to you by Comcast. That was then. This is Comcast. Sure West Wireless. Sure West, the lowest flat rate in town. Plans start at $29 a month. And by Kellogg Garden Products. Kellogg, the official planting mixes of the Sacramento River Cats. All right, Ramon Castro will lead things off for the River Cats. It'll be Castro, followed by Edwards and then Kuntz. Ramon making a nice play to his right. They turned the 6-4-3 double play, and they were fired up. Castro and Gomez fired up to turn the double play. Get Lupo out of the jam as the pitch taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. 0-1 on Castro. Castro 1 for 2 with a couple of sacrifice flies. Had a nice night defensively and offensively. The 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses inside. It's 1-1. 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the River Cats. 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the Stingers. That's where we are, bottom of the 8th. As Mizuho to the plate in the 1-1 pitch. That's taken inside, 2-1. The Roosevelt Auto Mall, where you'll find the right vehicle at the right price with the right financing, no matter what your budget. 16 dealers, 21 brands, 1 location. Eureka Road off I-80. As the pitch misses low, and it's 3-1 on Ramon Castro. 3-1 pitch. That's taken low, ball 4. He lost him. So another walk issued by Mizuho. That's 3 walks issued by the left-hander. And that'll bring up Mike Edwards, the third baseman. Dionne Warwick in the back. Here is Edwards, who was 1 for 3. Hit by a pitch in the first, fly down in the second, struck out in the fourth, singled in the sixth. Well, Jermaine Dye has doubled, scoring Burns and Chavez, and the A's lead the Mariners 6-4 in the top of the 9th inning. What a year for Jermaine Dye so far. Here's Edwards, a right-handed hitter, as Mizuho to the plate in the pitch. That's taken low. It's 1-0. 6-2 River Cats are in the bottom of the 8th, and the A's lead 6-4 in the 9th. Yeah, Shigetoshi Asagawa just in there, and he replaced Myers, and Jermaine greeted him with a double, a 2-run double. As Mizuho misses high, and it's now 2-0 on Edwards. So Mizuho has issued 3 walks already. In the 9th inning for Salt Lake, it'll be Gordon, Thrower, and Specht. 2-0 pitch. That's taken low. Now 3-0. Nobody throwing in the bullpen for Salt Lake. 31 pitches for Mizuho, 21 of them balls. Center fielder Thrower shaded towards right center. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's taken for a strike. 3-1. River
Rivercats lead by 4 here in the 8th. Castro takes his lead. Now the 3-1 pitch. That's swung on and popped up. The second baseman Speck going out. Coming in is Gordon. It'll be Brian Gordon, the right fielder, to make the catch. And there is one away. So one down in the 8th, and that will bring up the designated hitter, Graham Kuntz. Kuntz is 1 for 4. 2 for his first 7, hitting .286. Grounded into a 4-6-3 double play in the first. Bounced out to the second baseman Speck in the third. Singled and scored in the 5th, and struck out swinging in the 6th. Lefty versus lefty. As Castro takes his lead. In front of him is Quinlan, and the pitch to Kuntz misses low. It's 1-0. Mizuo's 1-0 pitch. That's taken high. Ball 2-0. Rivercats 4 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. The Stingers 1 in the 3rd and 1 in the 6th. Home run by Quinlan in that 6th inning. The 2-0 pitch taken low, 3-0. Wow, he is really struggling finding the zone as he's thrown twice as many balls as strikes. 36 pitches, 24 of them balls. 3-0 to Kuntz as Castro takes the lead. The 3-0 pitch. That's taken for a strike. 3-1. Kuntz had 98 walks last year. The only person ahead of him, I believe, was Valentino Pascucci of Edmonton. The 3-1 pitch taken for a strike. 3-2. So he's gone all the way to Kuntz. 3 balls, 2 strikes. There is 1 out. Left-hander Mizuo looks in as Castro takes the lead. Now the 3-2 pitch. That swung on and popped up. Behind home plate, giving chase Pelaez. Will he run out of room? He will. Bounces into the Rivercat dugout. Now the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Office of Traffic Safety of the California Highway Patrol remind you to buckle up. Always wear your seatbelt. There's just too much to lose. As the next pitch misses inside, ball 4. So he loses Kuntz. That's 4 walks issued by Mizuo and 7 walks. We're talking about 8 walks issued by the Salt Lake pitchers. And here is Dan Johnson, the first baseman. 6-2 Rivercats. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Well, join nearly 100,000 Smud Peak Corps customers, helping to reduce electric load in the event of an energy emergency. It's easy and it pays up to $20 on your summer electric bill. Sign up today online at smud.org or call 1-888-742-SMUD. SMUD, a proud partner of your Sacramento Rivercats. As the pitch taken for a strike, the knees on Dan Johnson, and it's 0-1. The left-hander, Mizuo, checks second. And the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. It's 0-2. Bergman 3 in the 3rd, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Breaking ball, it's hit foul behind home plate. Count remains at 0-2. Rivercats trying to go to 6-8. Well, all the PCL scores, all the Major League scores after the game on the Sure West Wireless postgame show. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball, he checked his swing, and he did not go. It is 1-2 on Dan Johnson. Rivercats scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Dan Johnson back into the left side of the batter's box. That slightly open stance. As Mizuo's 1-2 pitch. Fastball, it's chopped foul outside first and down the line. Count remains at 1-2. Kuntz and Castro take their leads. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, misses, low and away. It's now 2-2 on Dan Johnson. Johnson, another multi-hit game. Great start to his season. He has 5 multi-hit games now. Mizuo to the plate, the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, it's hit on the ground, foul outside first and down the line. And the count remains at 2-2. (6-2) River Cats. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. The A's have added another run. Rubio Durazo with a sacrifice fly, scoring dive. And the A's lead 7-4. This 3-run ninth for Oakland. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's taken low. It's now 3-2. So 3-2 on Dan Johnson. See if Tony DeFrancesco rolls the dice here with a 3-2 count and 1 out. You have left-hand hitter in Johnson up there. Mizuo checks second, and the pitch. That's swung on, a miss. Down he goes. So Johnson strikes out. 2 outs in the 8th. On the bring up the right fielder, Nick Swisher. You know, Johnson has just struck out 4 times now in 53 at bats, 54 at bats. Mike Brumley going out there. I think that'll be all for the left-hander Mizuo. Mizuo's thrown a lot of pitches here in his relief appearance, so that'll be all for the left-hander. And with 2 outs in the 8th inning, we're going to have another pitching change. So 2 on, 2 out, 8th inning. It's a 6-2 River Cat lead. We'll have more after this on Talk 650 KST.
I really love being controlled by others.
Michael Savage.
It's one of the things I really specialize in, is having people with lower IQs than I telling me what to do, especially when I go to the bathroom.
Follows Dr. Laura.
I have like a criminal's personality in many ways. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a bad person. I don't like to be told what to do. I have a very rebellious streak since birth.
Savage, get it.
Doctor I'd like to kill her pulled me out, yanked me by the head. And ever since then,
weekdays 4 to 7.
I've been fighting with the world.
On Talk 650 KST. Talk 650.
Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE. Welcome to the program.
Therapy's expensive.
My husband and I have some friends. We've had them for about 6 years.
Dr. Laura?
My question is regarding, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing for a 20-year-old.
Free.
What's on your mind?
Well, I've got a problem with my neighbor.
Dr. Laura.
4 years ago, the wife divorced the husband.
But how do I say it without...
Find your own words,
Afternoons.
My question is...
Right before Savage.
You're here to teach him.
On Talk 650.
You're his dad.
KSTE. Exciting River Cats baseball. Here again is the voice of the River Cats, Johnny Dosco, on Talk 650 KSTE.
By Joel Peralta, the new pitcher for Salt Lake. It'll be Nick Swisher. It's a bat from the right, bat from the left side, I should say. So I guess that was Mizuo's limit on pitches because Swisher's a better left-hand hitter than he's a right-handed hitter. But River Cats at first and second with 2 outs. It's a 6-2 River Cat lead. Meanwhile, the last update we have Tucson and Salt Lake, we had a 2-1 ball game. For some reason that has not been updated on the site. We're still waiting on that. So here we go. Peralta comes set. Here's the pitch. That's taken for a strike with a slider. It's 0-1. Joel Peralta. 3-0, 4.26 ERA. Got 3 wins already, making his 6th appearance. 6 in the 3rd inning, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. Right-hander's 0-1 pitch. That's chased and missed. An off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2. Joel Peralta, he's listed at 5'11", 160. Champanoa, Dominican Republic, and he's got good stuff. 0-2 the count on Nick Swisher. Swisher is 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Peralta steps off the rubber. Now the right-hander back on. 6-2 Rivercats, bottom of the 8th. 0-2 on Swisher. In the 9th, it'll be Gordon, Thrower, and Specht. Peralta at the belt. Now the 0-2 pitch. That's fouled back to the screen. He threw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-2. Tomorrow night, Delvin James and Mike Ziegler. 7:05 start Friday. Steve Green against Mike Wood. Then the Rivercats go to Vegas for 4, an off day, and then Tucson for 4. Blanton will pitch in that first game against Vegas. It'll be Blanton and Heath Totten. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That swung on and popped up foul. That'll play on the third base side. That'll be a souvenir. That remains at 0-2. (6-2) Sacramento, bottom of the 8th inning. Joel Peralta from the third base side of the rubber stares in. Lockwood running for Kuntz at first. So Lockwood at first, Castro at second. There's the 0-2 pitch. That's taken inside. It's 1-2. Lockwood and Castro take their leads. Joel Peralta checks second base. And the right-hander's 1-2 pitch. That's swung on and missed. Down he goes. So Swisher strikes out. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 2 left. We're through 8. Rivercats 6, Salt Lake 2. Last chance for the Stingers after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk 650 KSTE. Rancho Cordova, Sacramento. Sacramento's Talk Station. Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk to us about the things that matter to you most.
I just have a question about what do you do in a case like that?
What is that that's inside that man that knows that?
Whatever's on your mind, no matter who the host.
And he gave this sickening smirk. Yeah.
Got a question or a gripe or giving someone props.
This is the greatest thing I've seen. I look at life differently.
Doesn't matter because the conversation never stops.
You know, have a reason to put a gun on him.
Talk to us.
Armstrong and Getty.
I think they're still handling it with kid gloves and kind of brushing underneath the carpet.
Michael Savage.
Michael, what really happened on September 11th?
Talk to us.
And even Dr. Laura.
And it made me so sick, and I just thought, you know, what a jerk. You know?
I don't understand. Is he blind?
I guess my concern is that.
Talk to us. Hit the buttons, dial the numbers, come on, don't be shy. Might be the only chance you get, so don't let it slip.
You do the talking on the Talk Station. Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk to us.
This is Sacramento Rivercats Baseball, 2003 Pacific Coast League champions and AAA affiliate of the Oakland A's on Talk 650 KSTE.
On top of the 9th, last chance for Salt Lake. Rivercats trying to snap the Salt Lake Stingers' 6-game winning streak. And they're 3 outs away from doing it. Luke Holt will face Brian Gordon, Jake Thrower, and Brian Specht. So Johnson at first, Gomez at second, Castro at short, and Edwards at third. With Watson in left, Stanley in center, Swisher in right. Is the pitch taken for a strike? It's 0-1 on Gordon. Gordon has bounced out once and flied out twice. So Lou Pote trying to preserve this one for Steve Woodard. The Alabama looking for his third win. Pote comes set in the 0-1 pitch. That's taken low. It's 1-1. Las Vegas shut out Tacoma 1-0. Las Vegas 51s had 12 hits with their one run. Tanyan Sturts with a win over Travis Blackley, and Troy Brohan his first save. 1-1 pitch. That misses inside. It's 2-1. Antonio Perez responsible for the only run of the ballgame, a solo job in the second. So Las Vegas with the win. They're now 6-8. Right-hander comes set on the 2-1 pitch. That misses high with a fastball. It's 3-1. So 3-1 on Gordon. As Pote to the plate, the 3-1 pitch misses very high. Ball 4. So Pote loses Gordon to lead off the ninth. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Jake Thrower. So Jake Thrower will be the hitter. Jake Thrower is 0 for 3. Flied out to the left fielder, Watson in the third. Flied out again to Watson in the fifth. And bounce back to the pitcher. So at the time of Steve Woodard in the seventh. You know, Tony DeFrancesco would love to not use Lear tonight if he could. Fastball taken for a strike and the count's 0-1. Wouldn't mind giving Lear another day rest. Right-hander looks in. Pote to the plate, the 0-1 pitch. That's taken low. Ball 1, 1-1. So he's gone a 1-1 on the switch-hitting center fielder, Jake Thrower. Fresno defeated Edmonton, or they're leading Edmonton 1-0 in the eighth. And the next pitch, that's high. So he misses again to Thrower. It's now 3-1 on Jake Thrower. Runner on first with nobody out. 26 pitches now for Lou Pote. Now Tom Wilson out there trying to settle down the right-hander. Justin Lear beginning to throw in the bullpen for Sacramento. Tucson beat Portland 6-3, so the Rivercats trying to keep pace with Tucson. Rivercats, they hold on here. They will remain 3.5 back of the Sidewinders. Next pitch, that's swung on a fly ball to center field. Well, Stanley going back, still going back near the track, actually about 20 feet from the track. He makes the catch in the deepest part of left center. And there is one away. So Thrower flies out to the center fielder, Stanley. And that will bring up the second baseman, Brian Specht. Second baseman, actually, I can't really say it was the deepest part of left center, but Stanley making the catch 20 feet from the warning track. In left center, here's Brian Specht, 1 for 3. So 1 on, 1 out, 6-2 Rivercats, top of the ninth. Into the grass at third is Edwards. Rivercats 2 outs away from victory. Lou Pote looks in as Gordon takes his lead. Here's the pitch. That misses a little high. It's 1-0. Pote had a little trouble with his command here in the ballgame. He walked 2 in the 8th, was helped out by that great double play turned by Castro at the 6-4-3 double play. Castro to Gomez to Johnson. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball of beauty in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. 88-mile-an-hour fastball there. 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Rivercats. 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the Stingers. As Gordon takes his lead at first, the 1-1 pitch. That's taken low and inside. It's 2-1. Rivercats led 4-0, then 4-1, then 5-1, then 6-1. It's now 6-2. That's where we are, top half of the ninth. Gordon takes the lead at first. The right-hander Poach, 2-1 pitch. That's lifted down the left field line, slicing in amongst the crowd, and it's 2-2. Uh, 2-2 on Brian Specht, a left-handed hitter. Right-hander looks in as Gordon takes his lead from first. Johnson playing behind him. Poach, the long look, now finds the side he likes. And the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, chased and missed. Down he goes. So Specht strikes out. Now the Rivercats are 1 out away from victory. And Adam Riggs, the left fielder, a last chance for Salt Lake. Riggs 1 for 4, could have been 2 for 4, actually could have been 3 for 4. He was robbed by Stanley, the center fielder, in the 5th, and he lined out to the shortstop Castro to end the 7th. Well, this guy's been a tough out for the Rivercats. First game of this series, he was 4 for 4 with a walk, 5 runs scored. He had a single, double, 2 home runs. The runner goes, the pitch a strike. So Brian Gordon going on that pitch with a 6-2 deficit with 2 outs in the 9th. Well, it doesn't mean anything. Poach checks second, and the 0-1 pitch. That breaking ball misses low, gets away from Wilson, going to third base on the wild pitch is Gordon. So it's a 1-1 count on Adam Riggs. Rivercats lead by 4 here, top half of the 9th inning. So for some reason Gordon taking second base, and Rivercats with a 4-run lead here in the 9th inning. Poe wasn't paying a lot of attention to him, but if you win with a 4-run lead in the 9th, surprised Gordon took off for second base there. As Pope looks in. Gordon from third. The right-hander comes set. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball just misses. Ball 2-1. Rivercats the 4-run lead here in the 9th. Outfield straight away as Pope comes set. Now the 2-1 pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. It's 2-2. 88 miles an hour with that pitch. So now the Salt Lake Stingers down to their final strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The right-hander comes set. Now the 2-2 pitch. That's chased and missed. Down he goes. And the Rivercats win it 6-2. No runs, no hits, a walk, 1 left. Final score, Sacramento 6, Salt Lake 2. For Sema Daniels, this is Johnny Dosco inviting you to stay tuned for the Sure West Wireless postgame show coming up right after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Your place to talk with Armstrong and Getty, Dr. Laura, Michael Sapp, and George Norrie late nights. Talk 650 KSTE. The Talk Station. Talk 650 KSTE.
Fellas, how you doing?
Up antenna.
Hi, you guys.
Switch on.
Love your show.
Easy to work.
Armstrong and Getty.
Press talk button and broadcast from room to room.
Live from Studio C in the morning.
And even house to house.
Why don't you get a cork or something? It's really good for your butt muscles. You know why I have such a nice ass? From years of clamping hard down tight.
The Armstrong and Getty Show. Early mornings on the Talk Station. Talk 650 KSTE. This is Sacramento Rivercats baseball, and it's time for the Sure West Wireless postgame show. Sure West, the lowest flat rate in town. Plans start at $29 a month. Here again is the voice of the Rivercats, Johnny Dosco.
Yeah, 6-2 win for the ball club. The River Cats now are 6-8. Salt Lake, they have their 6-game winning streak snapped. As they lose, they fall to 11-3. Totals in the ball game for Sacramento: 6 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. For the Salt Lake Stingers, 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. The winning pitcher, Steve Woodard, he's now 3-0. The loser, Chris Buchek, he falls to 1-2. We'll tell you how it happened after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk 650 KSTE. There's really nothing else like him on the radio anywhere. He's Michael Savage. This is a talk show you're going to want to listen to every afternoon, 4 to 7, only on Talk 650 KSTE. Talk 650 KSTE. Talk about it. Talk 650. This is Sacramento River Cats baseball on Talk 650 KSTE.
With the victory by a final score of 6-2, as they have now evened up this series at 1 apiece. Salt Lake still taking 4 of the 6 games of the season series. As we said, 6-9-1 for the River Cats, 2-7-0 for Salt Lake. Woodard the win, 3-0. Buchek the loss. He falls to 1-2. We had a scoreless game until the bottom of the second inning. Woodard had retired 6 of the first 7 batters he faced. Actually 8 of the first 9, but 6 of the first 7 in the first 2 innings. In the bottom of the second, the River Cats got it going. They got a single from Johnson, a double from Swisher. Wilson then walked, and then Matt Watson was the hitter. As Wilson, Swisher, and Johnson take their leads. And the 3-2 pitch. That swung on a line right down the right field line that will fall in for a base hit and one off the wall. Johnson will score. Swisher around third, he'll score. Going to third base, Wilson on a double from Watson. It's 2-0 Sacramento. Indeed, a 2-0 Sacramento lead, and Francis Gomez then would bounce out. Steve Stanley hit a ball up the middle, specked, kind of an off-balance throw, and he thought they had a chance to get Wilson to home plate. They fired home, and Wilson slid safely under the tag of Will Nieves, and the River Cats had a 3-0 lead, and Stanley was aboard at first. But that brought Ramon Castro with runners on first and third as Watson took third on the play. And here's what happened with Ramon Castro at the plate. Here's a 2-2 pitch. That swung on a fly ball to right field. Will this be deep enough? Backing up is Gordon. He's up with it. He makes the catch. Tagging is Watson. The throw is cut off. A run scores. It's 4-0 River Cats. River Cat lead. Well, Woodard would allow a run in the third. As we said, 8 of the first 9 he retired. Riggs would then double. And then Alfredo Wamesigo would double home Riggs to make it a 4-1 baseball game. Now it was 4-1 at the top of the fourth. Alex Pelaez flied out. Gary Johnson tripled, almost a circus catch from Steve Stanley in center field. Jim Edmonds type play was a leaping grab as he kind of dove backwards and got in the warning track. Easy for me to say, but Johnson ends up with a triple with 1 out of the 4th, but Woodard able to get out of the Alabama, able to get out of it as Nieves bounced out, then Gordon flied out, and great job by Steve Woodard to get out of that 4th inning unharmed. In the bottom of the 4th, the Rivercats would add to that 4-1 lead as they got a walk to Wilson. Watson singled. Gomez unable to move the runners over as he bunted into a 1-5 fielder's choice. After the Stanley walk to load the bases, that was it for Buchek. So Bergman replaced Buchek, and the left-handers' first assignment was facing Ramon Castro, and here's what happened. And here is Castro. Castro bounced back to the pitcher Buchek in the first and picked up a sacrifice fly in the second. Here's the pitch. That swung on line, drive center field. Coming up for it is thrower, and Jake makes the catch. Tagging is Watson, and the throw is cut off, and the Rivercats lead it 5-1. Indeed, a 5-1 lead, a second sacrifice fly for Ramon Castro, his 4th RBI of the season. Rivercats had a 5-1 lead. It was 5-1 until the top of the 6th. Actually, the Rivercats would make it a 6-1 game with that 3-6 fielder's choice hit into by Watson. They loaded the bases, and with 1 out, Watson had the ground ball down to Quinlan. They threw to Amaziga for 1, but could not get the 3-6-1 or 3-6-3 double play as Graham Coots scored, and that made it a 6-1 game. It was 6-1 as we went into the top of the 6th inning. Woodard was breezing right along. Of course, we got help from Stanley in the 5th inning. Stanley with our Molinos Freeze defensive scoop of the game. A beautiful running catch as he banged into the wall in right center. And then in the 6th, Rob Quinlan was the hitter against Woodard, and here's what happened. Woodard out of a windup. Now the 1-0 pitch. That swung on a fly ball to left field. That's hit well. But back is Watson near the track at the wall. Leaps up, and it is gone. Solo homer for Rob Quinlan, and it's now 6-2 Rivercats. Indeed, Quinlan's 2nd home run of the year and his 11th RBI, and we had a 6-2 baseball game. That's where we were. Lou Pote in the 8th inning replaced Woodard. Woodard 7 strong innings. Woodard getting his 3rd win. Pote replacing Woodard. He got a fly out to Alfredo Amaziga. He would walk Quinlan. Pelaez hit a ground ball. Edwards making a great play to his left. And then he threw it past Gomez and into right field for the error. So their runners on 1st and 3rd. And then Gary Johnson would walk to load the bases. And I'll tell you what, big double play ball. Pote getting the double play. Castro making a nice play to his right. He fed Gomez. A nice turn by Francis Gomez to first. They get the 6-4-3 inning-ending double play and get out of that 8th inning jam. In the 9th inning, Pote still on. He would walk Gordon. 2 outs later, Gordon would steal second base, down 4 runs in the 9th. Moved to 3rd on a wild pitch. The last chance for Salt Lake was the hottest Salt Lake hitter, Adam Riggs. Okay, well, we were waiting for that, the last out, but trust me, Riggs struck out to end it, and the Rivercats would win it by a final score of 6-2. So, a great ball game. The Rivercats, with their 6th win in 14 tries, Salt Lake falls to 11-3. Their 6-game winning streak snap. We'll come back with the pitching lines after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE.
Michael Zepp.
You're all afraid of your children.
The voice you can't ignore.
If the kid comes on with baggy jeans, burn them.
The Savage Nation.
How cute. He's wearing baggy jeans. He looks like a little crack runner.
Savage.
And listen to the nice music he's listening to, Martha. I'm going to kill white boys and hang them by the neck. I'm going to break their back. I'm going to call a crack. I'm going to break their neck. I'm going to hit that hole. Take that hole and break a nose. Idiots. White punks with pimples on marijuana.
Come on. Got it yet? Michael Savage, 4 to 7 on Talk 650. KSTE. Talk 650. This is Sacramento Rivercats baseball on Talk 650 KSTE.
Check 3 1/3 innings. The right-hander out of Auburn allowed 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 3 walks, no strikeouts. Dusty Bergman, the left-hander, 2 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 run was earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Yoshi Mizuo, he went an inning and 2/3. He walked 4 and struck out 2. And Joel Peralta went 1/3 of an inning, and he struck out 1. For the Rivercats, Steve Woodard, 7 innings. The Alabamans, 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Did not issue a walk. He struck out 2. Lou Pote, 2 innings. He walked 3 and struck out 2. Time of the ball game, 2 hours and 58 minutes. The attendance, 6,677. Well, the Rivercats keeping pace with Tucson. Tucson winning their game over Portland 6-3. Andrew Good with a win 1-0. Mark Brubeck with the loss 0-2. Brandon Villaferde with a save, his first of the year. Harrison with his second home run for Tucson. For Portland, Ben Petrick in his first. Yamid Hod with his first as well. Fresno defeating Edmonton by a final score of 1-0. We don't have a win-loss update on that, but it is 1-0 final. Fresno winning that game over Edmonton. Albuquerque knocked off Nashville by a final score of 12-4. Manini with a win 1-0. Van Schoten with the loss 0-2. House with his third save. House with his third home run of the year, I should say. Iowa with an 8-5 win over Oklahoma. Kevin Tolar, the left-hander, with a win 1-0. Brad Klontz, the loss 0-1. And Jackson with his first home run of the year for Iowa. New Orleans losing to Omaha by a final score of 9-5. Wright the win. He is 2-1. Doug Sessions the loss 0-2. Short with his second home run for Omaha. And for New Orleans, Fothery with his first of the year. Las Vegas defeating Tacoma by a final score of 1-0, so they're 3.5 back as well. Las Vegas had 12 hits in the ballgame. Tanyan Sturts with the win. He's now 2-0. Blackley the loss 0-2. Troy Brohan his first save. And Antonio Perez with his first home run of the year, responsible for the only run of the ballgame in that game. We'll come back with the Major League scores after this on Talk 650 KSTE.
Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE. Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE.
Talk 650 KSTE. Back to school, we take you for those good old lessons of social engineering with your tutor, Dr. Laura.
Don't blame it all on me.
Your resource for all your domestic management needs.
It's not simplistic, it's clarity.
And don't forget the household tips.
Catch more flies with honey.
Yeah, I know, I've heard that one.
It's homespun fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it. I don't want to be held accountable for that.
Your daily dose of higher learning.
Hope you're taking notes, Teresa.
The Dr. Laura Show, Monday through Saturday, 9 till noon on Talk 650 KSTE. Talk 650 KSTE.
Are you ready?
Yeah!
I love it.
You'll know it when you hear it.
Sacramento's Talk Station.
Remember, today you listen to Talk 650 KSTE.
The world
is a dangerous place.
There are several trains that have been exploded to bits.
And it just got a lot more dangerous.
A nation can survive its fools,
Michael Savage.
but it cannot survive treason from within.
He'll help you make sense of it all.
The traitor appears not a traitor. He speaks in accents familiar to the victims, and he wears their face in their arguments.
Michael Savage, the voice you can't ignore. Afternoons at 4 on Talk 650 KSTE. Sacramento River Cats baseball on Talk 650 KSTE.
Well, the A's win their baseball game. They scored 3 in the ninth. The A's had a 3-0 lead. Seattle scored 4 in the seventh, and the A's with 3 in the ninth to win 7-4. Tim Hudson the win 3-0. Myers the loss 0-1. Rhodes his 6th save of the year. Eric Chavez hit his 2nd home run of the year for Oakland. Dave Hansen a pinch hit 3-run homer for Seattle. A big win for the A's after losing back-to-back 2-1 games to Seattle. Texas beats Anaheim 4-1. R.A. Dickey the win 2-1. John Lackey the loss 0-3. Cordero his 4th save. It was Detroit over Minnesota 11-8. Levine the win 2-0. Radke the loss. Brad now 2-1. Eugene Urbina his 1st save. Shannon Stewart hit his 2nd home run for Minnesota. The Yankees beat the White Sox 3-1. Javier Vasquez the win 2-1. John Garland the loss 1-1. Rivera his 5th save. Alex Rodriguez hit his 2nd home run for the Yankees. Jorge Posada with his 7th, and Carlos Lee hit his 3rd for the White Sox. It was Boston over Toronto 4-2. Tim Wakefield the win 2-0. Ted Lilly the loss 0-2. Folk his 5th save. The Blue Jays have lost 5 straight. Doug Mirabelli had 2 home runs in that one, numbers 2 and 3, as he had hit a home run off Lilly before. Kansas City and Cleveland postponed. Tampa Bay defeating Baltimore 7-3. Abbott the win 2-1. Riley the loss 1-1. Martinez with his 3rd home run for Tampa Bay. Baldelli with his 1st, and for Baltimore, Gibbons hit his 2nd. Over in the National League, the Cardinals defeated the Astros 12-6. Matt Morris the win 3-1. Tim Reddy the loss 0-3. The Cardinals hit 5 home runs. Langford with his 3rd, Sanders his 6th, Edmonds his 3rd, Rowland his 8th, and Anderson his 4th. For Houston, Bagwell hit his 5th, and Lamb with his 2nd. In 12 innings, the Marlins defeated the Phillies 8-7. Wayne the win 1-0. Matson the loss 0-1. Cordero his 1st home run for Florida. Lowell hit 3 home runs in that game. Mike's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th home runs of the year. For Philadelphia, Jim Thome hit his 3rd, and Ricky Lede with his 1st. The Cubs all over the Pirates 12-1. Mitre the win 1-0. Josh Fogg the loss 0-3. It was Atlanta over Cincinnati 9-5. Calgary, Chris Reitzma with the win 1-0. Rate the loss 0-1. Andrew Jones his 3rd home run of the year. Rafael Furcal with his 1st. LaRoche with his 1st home run for Atlanta. And for Cincinnati, Sean Casey at numbers 1 and 2. Montreal defeated the Mets by a final score of 2-1. Hernandez the win, he's 1 and 2. Glavine the loss 2-1. Biddle his 4th save. And Arizona losing to Milwaukee by a final score of 10-6. Ben Ford the win 1-0. Johnson the loss 1-2. Danny Bautista with his 2nd home run for Arizona. For Milwaukee, Junior Spivey hit his 2nd home run. His home run against his former team, and Keith Ginter with his 3rd. The Dodgers defeating Colorado 9-4. Hideo Nomo the win 3-1. Scott Ellerton the loss 0-3. Adrian Beltre at his 6th home run for L.A. For Colorado, Gonzalez with his 2nd. And the Padres all over the Giants 11-0. Jake Peavy with a win 1-1. Jason Schmidt the loss 0-2. Mark Loretta his 2nd home run for San Diego. And Brian Giles with his 2nd. Barry Bonds is consecutive streak of hitting a home run of the game stops at 7 for the Giants. So the River Cats with a victory here. The River Cats with a 6-2 win over Salt Lake, snapping Salt Lake's 6-game winning streak. And we'll do it again tomorrow night. The River Cats will look to make it 2 out of 3 against Salt Lake. It'll be a 7:05 start. Gates open at 6. And we look forward to seeing you at the ballpark. It's Crystal $1 Family Feast Night. Give Steve Woodard a lot of credit. 7 strong innings tonight. Lou Pope 2 shutout innings. And the Alabama now 3-0 on the season. River Cats getting 3 RBIs from Matt Watson tonight. Ramon Castro, a nice defensive play and 2 sacrifice flies. Dan Johnson had a couple of hits. River Cats had 9 hits overall, but more importantly, with the victory, they're 6th in 14 tries. Scheduled started tomorrow is Mike Ziegler for the River Cats, and he has 0-1 ERA of 12.5. Scheduled starter for Salt Lake, Delvin James, no record ERA of 1.69. I'd like to thank our engineer, Sema Daniels. Great job tonight, Sema. For Sema, this is Johnny Dosco bidding you farewell from Rayleigh Field in West Sacramento, where the River Cats defeat Salt Lake and snap Salt Lake's 6-game winning streak. They win this one 6-0. to 2. For 7, this is Johnny. Good night, everybody.
Hey, come on, the party really gets.
You've been listening to the Sacramento Rivercats Sure West Wireless Postgame Show. Sure West, the lowest flat rate in town. Plans start at $29 a month. The Sacramento Rivercats. 2003 Pacific Coast League champion and AAA affiliate of the Oakland A's. Join us next time for more exciting Rivercats baseball on Talk 650 KSTE.